What's going on, everyone? Welcome into another Sunday Night Football Live watch along right here on the Forward Progress YouTube channel, part of the Hammer Betting Network, and presented by Fanduel. I'm Rob Pizzola with you for the duration of this night. Lots going on today. I had an up and down day. Ultimately, whatever, it was fine. I think when I do run numbers, I'll take a small loss, but I'm feeling okay because I actually got lucky. Missed some bets, stuff of that nature. Sometimes things just work out in your favor. But forget about that. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. You guys know Clive Bixby's joining me in the first half. We'll preview next week's games. Bunch of bye weeks, so there's less games to go through, but we'll go through them all. And of course, we'll watch this game between the Bills and the 49ers here. I do want to talk this through a little bit. Tonight might be a little bit different in the sense that I'm not going to come out here. I'll give a few plays. But for the most part, I just want to talk about some general strategy. This would be what I consider to be a high variance game because we don't know what's going on with Brock Purdy. I've seen him throw pregame today. I'm going to tell you, I don't think the arm is good, but the market is steaming this towards the over right now. I don't know the rationale behind why that's happening. I have many friends who are in attendance, all sending me their version of the weather report, and I can't get a straight answer. Some say it's really windy, but it's just blowing in one direction on the field, which is typical, by the way, in Buffalo. Others say it's not too bad, but it's cold, and it's real challenging to kind of price this game. So what I would like to do in this particular game is kind of bet around the Bills winning in a blowout. And this is under the premise that the market is pricing this game as if Brock Purdy is good to go. And I'm just going to take an educated guess and say that I don't necessarily believe that. Drew says, let's look for live action. Love that idea. Could easily do that. Carlos says, Snover. Well, I mean, I'm talking to my buddies. He said it snowed really lightly. They've cleared a lot of the seats and stuff like that. Some challenges associated with that. So first and foremost, if you watch Pizza Buffet this morning, I like Dawson Knox over on receptions. I especially liked it if Keon Coleman was out. FanDuel has the best price in market currently on Dawson Knox over receptions. It's 2.5 minus 114. That's one that I would still consider playing at this point. I don't want to go nuts with plays today for this particular game. Again, I think it's hard to price, but go a half unit Dawson Knox over. Jack says variance equals money-making opportunities. I agree. So my working theory for this game, talked to Hitman a little bit about a half an hour ago, is that this is going to be a tough time for Brock Purdy. Yes, he played at Iowa. He's used to cold weather. This is a wind game. He already doesn't have a strong arm to begin with. It's going to be hard for him to force it downfield. My guess is that the 49ers try to run the ball as much as possible, and they try to incorporate the screen game as much as possible. I know Purdy unders have been getting hit in passing yards. I think there's still some value there, but Iowa State, excuse me. Thank you. However, I think there's a lot of SGPs that we can build for this game. Now, reminder to all of those out there, from the SGP side of things, I'm playing tonight's game with some lottery tickets. Played a bunch of stuff around what I'm going to talk about right now. But I can't give out like 50 parlays before we go live here. So I'm going to go with some things that I tried to key into different parlays and leave it up to you to do whatever the hell you want to do. That's the way I prefer to do it. Starts with Buffalo on alternate spreads. As much as you're comfortable with. I've gone as high as 21.5 in the game. Played a lot of 13.5. We can build out a sample here, Jason, just as an example, but an alternate spread minus 13.5, something along those lines for the Bills. And in a game where Purdy's arm is not good to force it downfield, I like Christian McCaffrey alternate receptions. I would start with 7+, maybe play some 8+. I did go back through McCaffrey box scores for the past few years, and honestly, there haven't been that many games where he's actually gotten 8 or more receptions. He's gotten games with double-digit targets, but I like stuff along this line. I also like the idea in blowout games of playing backup running backs as anytime touchdown scores or last touchdown scores. I mean, if we just take out Christian McCaffrey here for 1 second, Jason, and we put together something like Buffalo minus 13.5 or even higher, where they win in a blowout, and like Isaac Guerendo last touchdown or Jordan Mason last touchdown, you get payouts that are like 165 to 1 on 2-gamer for last touchdown. Anytime touchdown for Jordan Mason still going to pay pretty well. I like stuff like that. You can do it with the Bills running back as well. If it's a blowout, you get some Ray Davis stuff in the game. We've done that type of thing before. We've cashed on that type of thing before, albeit in-game and not necessarily pre-game. So those are the kind of things that I'm looking at in these types of markets. What would happen in a blowout? Tend to get backups. CMC most receiving yards in the game, plus 880. Love that look. Love that look. James says, give me Mason. Absolutely. So these are the types of things that are going through my head. I mean, obviously, if the Bills win by 13.5, you can put stuff like Josh Allen anytime touchdown in that parlay, but it doesn't elevate the price of the parlay enough. So I like to think outside of the box. What's likely to happen for the other team that might seem like it's inversely correlated type of thing. If you wanted to take just some regular shots that weren't SGP related, honestly, McCaffrey alts on its own is probably worth a look in terms of receptions, just receptions. I'm not sure about the yardage. Potentially rushing attempts, alternate rushing attempts, things of that nature for San Fran. The only issue that I have with that is I'm not convinced. I know Buffalo has had some troubles with run defense over the years, but this left side of this offensive line without Trent Williams and Aaron Banks is a real problem. It's a real problem. I also think there's a real good path to success for the Bills running game. In this particular instance, you're missing 3 starters in the defensive front 7 for the 49ers. Jordan Elliott, Nick Bosa, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, all missing the game. There's all sorts of ways that you can play it. Allen under 30.5 pass attempts. It follows the line of thinking where I think Buffalo is going to lead start to finish. And you know what? If it doesn't work out that way, we've put down a little bit of money to win a lot. It's not the end of the world. It's not like I'm risking like 10 units on Buffalo alternates here. So I like this notion tonight. And if it doesn't happen, like I said, it doesn't happen. But I've been reading every piece of 49ers news going on 2 weeks now. I had a huge win on this last week. Granted, Purdy didn't actually play. It was Allen. But the way that they have brought him back into the mix this week with very light throwing, didn't really throw at his usual time pregame today, was just kind of working on the sidelines. The throwing he did was very light. I don't know. I really don't know. So there's that. Grinnif Win says Niners money line. I mean, listen, you're entitled to that opinion. Could happen. I'm just going to stick with that. Let's get this price here, Jason, on Cook to catch a pass on first Bills drive. I usually like to play these in-game a little bit more when I can kind of see the rotation. Plus 260, not bad. Could easily see the screen game working. Where it was Drew earlier on that said that let's find some in-game stuff today. Me and Clive are going to talk through the first half here. It might be a little bit more challenging to do that when we're previewing next week's games as well. But I do ideally like to see this kind of stuff play out one way or another. First TD score, says Joey. Okay, let's take a quick look at I'm going to leverage BetStamp Pro really quickly just to see what we got for prices in the first TD market. And then we can go from there. Because this is typically a market that is it's a little bit challenging in regards to finding a good bet because of the vig associated with these particular bets. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. What are you thinking, Jason? I see you behind the scenes clicking around there. You got some sort of feeling.
No idea. I have a weird feeling about like a Curtis Samuel game. If it's like a little bit more windy, short passing game, I don't know if you'll be able to get a touchdown. Dawson Knox feels too high. Everyone feels too like it doesn't feel like a good enough price for me to want to play them, if that makes sense.
I'm with you. For first
is tough.
First is tough,
this entire, not that it matters, but this entire year it's been so like either Josh Allen or Christian McCaffrey or James Cook. It's like one of those guys, you know. It's gonna and I just hate playing those. They're fun. I know,
fun like at less than 5-1, I can't take James Cook first.
Yeah,
TD.
like that's
right. It's like I can't. I just can't do it. I mean, Curtis Samuel would be my guy.
Yeah, I think I would agree with the Curtis Samuel. Look,
he'd be the guy.
Yeah.
On the 49ers side, I honestly have no friggin' clue, man. No clue.
Is there a no touchdown prop for the 49ers? Like, is that
like I have it in my head now. I've convinced myself of what I think is going to happen in this game, and I have it in my head now, and I kind of just don't even really want to go against that at this point.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like silent to start the show. Behind the scenes, I was just hitting off every single, like a bunch of alt numbers, like you said, and just with parlaying with all the responsibly with all the last touchdowns. So,
I'm going to be very distracted when Clive is on today because I have so many things going. I'm going to have to be trying to follow in real time. Errol Oseki says Buffalo touchdown first drive.
I like that.
San Fran punt, Cook to catch a pass. You know what? That's very much in line with stuff we like to do. Here,
I'm punching it in now. 13-1, 14-1.
Okay.
Just about.
Okay. Can we also just really quickly look at what Josh Allen 50+ rush yards is, alternate line? The only reason I say this is because Saquon scored a touchdown in a win today, and I kind of have this prime time feeling. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. For like MVP kind of equity.
Yeah, it's not enough. 184 though is not. Yeah. Okay. I mean, Paul's getting sick here. He says over 70 rushing yards. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. People are getting the itch. Okay, I'm tailed on that parlay, by the way. Buffalo first TD. San Fran punt.
Someone mentioned usage first. The juice.
Okay. Yeah, we need use check.
Usage.
It's not even remotely close. Use check.
They said the best price they found was 80-1, 70-1 on Fanduel, which is pretty good. I don't hate that as well, because if like you said with just to talk it through here, if Brock Purdy is struggling and they're able to like move the ball, I guess.
Yeah.
You think that they'd like hook up something with the Juice Master.
Well, I will say if you want best price that like I think is edge at FanDuel, Dawson Knox I talked about already. It looks like receptions and receiving yards, best price FanDuel. If you want Christian McCaffrey over receiving yards, played at FanDuel. And I like Isaac Guerrero, anytime touchdown, 44-1 FanDuel. You're not finding more than 35-1 anywhere else. And listen, I'm aware, people, but like this literally has to hit 1 out of every 2.5 seasons, essentially.
Would you play like Guerrero, who's at the back of the board? Would you just play him anytime touchdown as well, just to not get like, who knows what's going to happen on like last touchdown? You might get screwed on it. Like could happen too early in the game.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if it's a great price. That's the difference, right?
Yes.
Like 44-1 anytime is a great price.
Yes. Especially,
It's not like I'm just randomly playing a last touchdown and pairing with any time, but when it's that good of a price relative to market,
yeah,
I got it.
137-1.
Yep. Gorendo down to 802 at PM after one bet. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. That's going to be it for the preamble for the show today. A reminder, you see it up on screen on the show. You should bet the NFL season on Fanduel, America's #1 sportsbook. It's a great book. Lots of options. Very easy to put together. Whatever bet type you want, whether that's on mobile or on desktop. I'm a big fan of good products that work, products that are seamless, and that's exactly what Fanduel is. Right now, all customers get a profit boost every single NFL game day. That means you can pump up your gridiron winnings multiple times a week. You can use your SGP profit boost token tonight on Sunday Night Football. If you're betting tomorrow, there's also a Monday Night Football same game parlay profit boost token available to you. FanDuel has tons of ways you can get in on the NFL action. You can bet on money line spreads, player props, and more. Plus, with super simple live betting, lightning fast bet settlement, and instant withdrawals, FanDuel makes betting on the NFL easier than ever before. Just visit fanduel.com/forward-progress to download FanDuel today. You must be 21 plus and present in select states or 18 plus and present in DC. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-979-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right. Game's going to get underway shortly. Let's get started with my partner in crime, Clive Bixby. How are things?
What's up? What's going on?
It's okay. I was interesting ending to the Panthers Bucks game.
I know.
Yeah. For a second there, I really thought it was going to, like, everything was shaping up to end in a tie, man. Like I was.
Yeah, that was going to be a rough 6. But I would have liked to have seen, the Panthers pull that game out. Bryce Young playing a lot better. He doesn't look panicked back there. It's really good. Honestly, it's better. It's all relative, but it's a lot better.
I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a good football game. It really was. Nothing more to say about that. It was very up and down for me today. Had like not a lot of action and kind of worked out that way because sometimes like the stuff you leave off, get frustrated. You're like, fuck, like I should have bet that. I was thinking that with Baltimore early, right? I'm like,
yeah.
Like I was like on the cusp, and then by end of game, I'm like, thank God I didn't bet Baltimore. And it's just one of those days that honestly I feel pretty good because it could have been a bad day with the way that some of my leans were. So I'm feeling okay about it. And then again, my feelings going into the show here are pretty much, they're tied to what happens in the last game of the day. And getting Panthers and over in the same game was very nice.
Yeah, the only thing I have left today now is I put it in the chat. I bet Buffalo first drive punt. So just gonna root for that. And then either way, I'm close to an even day. If I win that, I'll be up 2 or 3 units, and if I don't, I think I'll be down a half a unit. No big deal.
Is there an angle on that, or is it like a pure price play?
Pure price play. I also expect, with weather like this, a little bit less likely for some of the explosive plays that you would expect from Buffalo. I just think they're going to run the ball just a little bit more, and we'll see what happens. But for the most part, the price, even in regular weather, I was pretty good with. This, I think, gives a little bit more upside.
I laid some pretty heavy juice on Brock Purdy under 1.5 touchdown passes in this game, but he is. It steamed out quite a bit. Yeah, we're going to see. I mean, I'm watching the screen now. It's fun. Like every time he's about to throw a football, they cut away to like a side. Like, let me see him throw the football. I don't really care about the sideline report going into the game. Like, let's just watch him throw the ball. And
that is what people would be interested in.
2:09 this afternoon, people shoveling snow. I get it, but like, it doesn't matter. At this point, we know that there's a lot of snow there. Like everyone knows.
I couldn't give a single fuck about watching people volunteer and shovel snow. Like, we know it happened. Let's just go. Let's move on.
It's nice of these people to do it. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, for sure.
At this point, that story was done for. More over money at post here. A little bit of Niners money. Yeah, but like this I'm looking at the market making books now. This is steamed all the way up to 46 in some spots right now. So snow on the field. I can't get a great answer from any of my friends at the game. I shouldn't say that. I'm getting differing answers about the weather. I guess depends where you're sitting in the stadium or how lubricated you are going into the stadium as well would have an impact on whether or not you're feeling the cold.
I'm trying to think of the worst game state that I was ever in. Like, oh, Doug Flutie's there. Look out. Probably about 30 and just pouring rain. Never snow though.
Yeah, but
that was miserable.
Flutie's wearing a hoodie. He's not wearing a winter jacket or anything.
Dude played in the CFL. Guy's tough.
He did. He was Toronto Argonaut for a few years. I was a big fan of Flutie.
Did he win a Grey Cup for you guys?
I want to say yes. I can't tell you for certain. Flutie is a CFL legend though. He was
for sure.
He dominated. He was basically like the Tom Brady of the CFL for a decade.
Yeah. Well, let's see how this opening kickoff goes, and then see how that's affecting the ball, because I'll be curious. It's so hard to tell what the wind looks like when you're just watching on TV.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting like a million messages over the course of the game as well about the wind. I can tell you right now. But it looks like San Fran's kicking it directly into the wind.
Into it. And that wasn't bad.
No, because I think he just booted as hard as he could and it made it to the goal line.
Yeah.
So Buffalo's going to have the wind. So first quarter
shit.
Bills.
Buffalo first punt went down to 115. Jesus, that moved. Anyway,
I'm thinking about. Okay, don't berate me, chat. I'm asking an honest question here. The switching field happens at the end of the first quarter to the second. Then does the team that played, like basically, do you get the same side of the field for first and fourth quarter or first and third quarter? That's what I need to know.
I think it's first and fourth. I think you end on the field that you had the first quarter, but I'm not 100%.
Okay. Okay.
Now you have me doubting myself.
Well, I mean, I got two different answers as the first two answers here. Because this will make a difference from a live betting. Like, again, there's different.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know. So far, it's more people are saying 1 and 4. So I'm going to trust that. And that was your intuition, Clive. And that was also my intuition.
Yeah, because you get to decide what side you defend, and that's part of it. So I thought that's what it ended up being.
Right. That makes sense. Because from a live betting perspective, if you have the wind with you, it's going to be advantageous.
Yes.
It's going to be advantageous. Play clock is at 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. And I'll sweat this one with Clive, who's looking for a punt. You're a little bit ahead. Oh, false start there. Okay. Barely ahead, like a second.
Yeah, the one the one lean that I had that I didn't play today was Cincy. So that was a happy no bet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just the way sometimes, I don't know, man. So I'm not a spiritual guy. I'm not into prayer or whatever, but sometimes certain things happen in your life that take you away from your computer. And I'm wired to think like, oh, I can't be away from this because I'm going to lose money. It's like opportunity cost, but sometimes it just works in your favor. And that happened this week. All right. Assuming that they don't go for it or there's no fake here. You're okay with fake punt. By the way, that was Ty Johnson in on third down there, which is, I mean, not unusual for them, but first drive He was in there on the 3rd and 14. 3rd and 14.
Buffalo, given their team, they have an abnormally high punt rate in their first drive, and I don't know why, but it just seems to be the case so far this year.
There you go. We talked about it. We always talk about these games on the week ahead, but we were previewing Seattle, New York Jets last week. And I'm like, I know my numbers are going to like the Jets in this game. And I'm just going to have to like cross it off. And of course I did. I didn't. The punt is in the air. You're good to go. I crossed the game off. I'm watching that. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like the Jets finally are going to benefit from some luck. You got like fumbled kickoff returns and stuff. And then by the end of that game, I'm like, thank God. You could not. It's a really random game for us to start with, but the plays that stick in my head today were Aaron Rodgers missing a wide open Garrett Wilson in the end zone for a touchdown that would have put them up like 28-7 in the game. And the next play throws a pick six to Leonard Williams. Like you could not think of a bigger EPA swing than what happened in those two plays in the game, and is the most fucking classic Jets thing that would happen.
It's so Jets, and because I'm in Jersey, that was the game I had today, or one of the games. I had two games. I decided to watch that one for a little bit, and then I was like, I can't watch this. This is disgusting. And then I went to Cincy and Pittsburgh, but like Aaron Rodgers had a couple plays where it looked like he could be mobile and run around a little bit, but he missed some open throws, and I wonder if this is the market just still not adjusting to a quarterback that's at the tail end of his career, because I could see the line moving a little bit, but to me it moved a little too far, to the point where I almost wanted to come back on Seattle today.
Oh yeah, I kind of was like an in-between. I would have liked the Jets earlier in the week. I would have liked Seattle at post. I don't really love to bet at post unless I feel like really strong. Like I will say, for the most part this year, I've done okay on games where I bet at post. I did not understand all the understeam in the Bengals game today. For the millionth time this year, I sit on game day and I'm already holding a ticket because I thought 47 was the low. Like 47, I'm like, okay, I have to buy the over in this game. And then I'm seeing 46 and a half today. I'm like, what do people not watch Bengals games, or even not watch, but like statistically speaking, they're a disaster defensively and they move the ball pretty efficient. I don't know. I don't get that one. Listen, there's a lot of stuff I don't get and I'm wrong on many times, but this season, somebody just keeps coming in on game day on Bengals unders, and I don't understand it. I will say though, Pittsburgh today, you had Tomlin go for a 4th and 3 on his own side of the field. Very unusual. Mm-hmm. They came out, they passed all over the Bengals. Pretty unusual. They usually have like a pretty safe off. I mean, the Steelers looked very good today. Very good today. Oh, that was a big run by McCaffrey.
They did, and Russell Wilson, one of the things that I was wrong on was that I really didn't think there was going to be that much of a difference between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson for the offense. And I think, I feel like you mentioned something towards this, on Pizza Buffet about, success rate versus EPA per play, and, just the way that the distribution of kind of plays are working out. But he's still much better than Justin Fields in this offense. I thought it would be a lot closer in terms of their value.
Yeah, it was really hard for me and has been hard for me to get there with Russ. They're just running downhill all over the 49ers here right now, but Mason is in as well. It's I couldn't get over Russ in the Denver offense. I watched so much of that last year, and I bet my opinion in so many of those games where I'm like, they can't. I mean, Sean Payton, I'm not a narrative guy, but I think he very clearly lost faith in Russell Wilson at some point last year. And he's like, we're not attacking downfield anymore. Everything's underneath. And this Russ is back. It's like the complete opposite. It's back to Seattle Russ taking shots downfield. I'm not suggesting he's as good as he was in his prime, but yeah, it's all the things that the Steelers constantly do, where you would expect some sort of regression, it just never comes. It doesn't come. Like they just, and that's not that they played a very good game today. I'm not suggesting they didn't and they got lucky. They played a very good game, but again, they force a big time fumble, interception that gets batted twice in the air. That goes. They just have a way of always coming up with these plays, and it's tough.
They don't
when
seem to
you're
make
modeling.
the backbreaking. They don't make the backbreaking mistake either. So, like, if you're going to expect them to regress to the mean in terms of turnover luck or penalties or whatever the thing that happens to be that's self-inflicted, they just don't do it.
Yeah, I think the thing that's a challenge with teams like Pittsburgh is when you're modeling games, what you're really doing is you're working with previous data and you're trying to strip out as much luck as possible. And I think that there's a lot of stuff for the Steelers that might actually look lucky, but really isn't lucky. He had him too. Just a bad throw to there was a pick six early in the game too. They still like Cam Taylor-Britt walked since he picked six. I'm like, here we go. Finally, the Steelers are coming back down to earth, and no, it doesn't happen. So that's the real challenge with the Steelers, I think, is that you're constantly looking out to strip out luck. And I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with that team. I honestly have no idea.
That looked like Purdy thought that McCaffrey was going to turn the other way there. Weird.
It did.
Not normally a mistake that team makes.
So that snap was almost really bad. Kick went right down the pipe. 3-0. San Fran to score first. Wonder what the live line is going to be here.
I mean, what is the Bengals defensive EPA per play against this year? I mean, every game is just in the third from the bottom.
Yeah, I think Buffalo minus 174 is pretty good right now.
Well, do you think with the way that the game... Yeah, do you think with the way the game looks and San Francisco being able to just completely run the ball right down their throat, do you think Buffalo's going to be able to do the same?
At some point, there's going to be some defensive adjustments where they're going to just make you try to beat them downfield. I think Bills minus 174. I'm just playing it on my desktop right now. And whatever. You know what?
YOLO.
You only live once. That's it. All right. Take a quick look and make sure lines are up for next week before I pivot to talking lines for next week. But I think we should be good to go at this point, and we are. Okay. Let's start with Thursday Night Football. Packers at the Lions. Both teams obviously having played on Thanksgiving. Both teams victorious. Packers looked a little bit easier than the Lions, although, I mean, from a box score point of view, I think the Green Bay game played closer. The Detroit game actually didn't really play that close, despite the fact that it came down to the wire. So lots of stuff to navigate here. Current market at Fanduel is off the board. Just went off the board really quickly. It was up at 4.5 and total at 51.5. But across the screen right, that was very unusual timing. Okay, so
I think it's back.
I don't ever. Okay, we just moved from 4.5 to 3.5. And even more Packers money coming in right now at 3.5. Really weird timing. We haven't even started talking about the game yet. I will say that I almost never, I don't want to say almost never. I will say that. I rarely look at look-ahead markets and play look-ahead markets. I played Packers +5 in this game already. And purely off of what I perceive to be a big drastic swing in injuries going into this game. Packers played without Romeo Doubs, Jair Alexander last week. They're both practicing. I think will likely play this week. The Lions, we don't know about Taylor Decker or Carlton Davis, but they lost more players in their front
on defense.
They lost.
Yeah,
they lost Malcolm Rodriguez, Josh Pascal. They have no depth left in their defensive front seven, like none. And they don't get me wrong, like they have good players. They have Lee McNeil, DJ Reader on the interior. That's helping a lot. But outside of those guys, they have zero depth. Like if you look at what the Lions started with on opening day this year and look at it now, it's like 80% turnover.
I know.
On the roster. And I don't really like Green Bay, but I thought that was valuable. Now, 3.5 where we're at now. Listen, this is not the like pat myself on the back game. I'm just trying to be transparent and upfront with the audience. 3.5 now, I don't know. I still think subjectively I would lean Packers at that number, but it feels like that's being more appropriately priced now.
Yeah, when it was 3.5 even for Green Bay, I might have thought about a little click. I don't know how much this moves off of 3.5. Maybe it goes to 3.5, like, minus 110, but I don't know if it's going to move all that much off of that. And maybe Caustic has what we had like last week in terms of our, movements, but for the most part, sides aren't moving all that much this time of year without some significant injury news. Now, this is big relative to the look ahead, like you mentioned, but I don't expect this to move a ton one way or the other.
It's not hard to price these games now unless you have something that is like substantially different, whether that's injuries, weather, whatever it may be. Yeah, I don't know, man. I Detroit has run. I don't want to say they've run good because that's not the right terminology for them this year. They've played well. They haven't run good from an injury perspective. They've had injuries, but it's getting to the point now where this is a serious team that they're playing on the other side, and they're doing it like, can they pressure Jordan Love in this game? Probably not. The run defense is, again, good players on the interior, but now you get like one in-game injury. You don't have the depth there anymore. They're literally going to be signing players off the practice squad off the street this week.
Listen, and you know more about the splits, about the types of defense that they play and how often they're playing it. But if they want to play a lot of cover one and man and things like that, that's going to not be an easy thing to do when you don't have the depth on your team anymore. So I don't know how much that changes what Aaron Glenn wants to do from a game planning perspective.
Yeah, the challenge I have with the Packers is that it's still a lot of boomer bust. They had a 48% success rate against Miami. That was pretty good. There's some context that needs to be applied there, though. Miami was getting killed by injuries early in that game. They lost 2 corners in the first quarter. They lost their nose tackle, Benito Jones. Miami's defense basically became obliterated very early on in that game. And they already went in with injuries to Kendall Fuller, Anthony Davis, not Anthony Davis, Walker at linebacker. They like that was beat up. So I wonder if it's just like, okay, Green Bay looked a little bit better than they are because of the circumstances in that game. I certainly don't think I could lay 3.5 with the Lions in this game. That's kind of what it comes down to.
No, and I'm looking for spots to fade Green Bay because I really don't love them either. So this just doesn't happen to be it. This looks like the spot where I actually finally want to fade the Lions. Although I don't remember if we talked about this. I know I talked about this with a couple friends in chat, like when Chicago was out at 10.5 last Sunday. I thought that would move towards 10 to 9.5, and it did, but I don't know. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I just don't think the Lions are going to be able to get a lot of pressure on Jordan Love, and it's just I think this has potential to be an ugly Green Bay win, actually. So I might look at alts there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really tough. It's a really tough one. Just in terms of this game, Buffalo really rotating the backs. That's pretty evident in the early going here. We got Ty Johnson, James Cook, and Ray Davis, all who've already gotten a carry. Plus Josh Allen just snuck it as well. So really interesting for that market. Okay, moving on to Sunday next week. Let's start with the Kirk Cousins revenge game. The Atlanta Falcons head out on the road, take on the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings minus 4.5, minus 110 at Fanduel. Total 45.5. Saw a bunch of both of these games today in the early window. I got to tell you, I don't think it can be understated how bad Kirk Cousins play today?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know I mentioned I like the Chargers last week at 1.5. I think it closed 1, and you mentioned you like the over. So I had interest in the game, and good lord, Kirk Cousins was bad.
I want to tell this was the 100th percentile Atlanta Falcons defensive performance today. You are not going to get a better defensive performance. The Falcons sacked Justin Herbert 5 times. They get no pressure on the quarterbacks ever. They held the Chargers offense to 32% success rate, 10 first downs, 187 total yards in the game. And honestly, all Kirk had to do was just not turn the ball over 4 times. Because if they just punted on 4th downs, they were fine. They sucked on 3rd down. They went 3 of 14, but he did that. And like literally, it could have been Will Levis for the Falcons today, and they would have won the game. Kirk was terrible today.
Yeah, I mean, from my handicap of the way that I would have expected the game to go, did not happen at all. Like, I thought the Chargers would be offensively fine. Herbert would have plenty of time to move the ball around. I know there's no Dobbins. I didn't think that fucking mattered. And success rate for the Chargers today was 32%. Like, I didn't see that coming, but it didn't need to be because Kirk Cousins was, like you mentioned earlier, or on Twitter, primetime Kirk Cousins.
On the other side, Minnesota-Arizona was a really interesting game because you look at like the success rate metrics, yards per play, looks very even. I thought Arizona was very much in control of a lot of that game. I mean, the Vikings only converted 1 third down today. The Vikings offense was stuck in the mud for a lot of the game. Sam Darnold was sacked 5 times. I got to tell you, I'm going to watch this game back in full either tomorrow or Tuesday. Arizona's defense is causing so much confusion with other teams. Offensive line is completely breaking down on some of these blitzes. Nick Rollis, their defensive coordinator, he is doing some crazy shit, dropping defensive linemen into coverage. It's like they know what plays are coming. There were so many times today where it looked like Justin Jefferson was going to be one-on-one pre-snap, and then they dropped a player you'd never expect into coverage underneath. And wow, that was a big hit. I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of the Vikings. I really don't know. Like the luster is kind of worn off. They're well coached. I thought they were lucky to win today. I think the Falcons were unlucky to lose, and the Falcons were lucky to win. The Vikings were lucky to win.
Yeah, I kind of have these teams a little bit more even than I would have thought. I did think 3.5 was going to be a fine number. It actually moved towards the Cardinals, so that kind of surprised me a little bit. But I guess it wasn't anything nuts. But from a defensive side, I mean, the Vikings still had a pretty high success rate. They did well rushing the football. They seem to have a problem now scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals, what surprised me the most was they rushed the ball better than I expect them to today too. So just off of the margins, just a little bit surprising. That said, for this next week, I think this line of 4.5 for the Vikings is fine. I still really don't like Atlanta. But I don't want to say Darnold's in pumpkin season, but he's not the same guy he was the first 3 weeks of the year.
Oh, definitely. Like the Darnold for MVP stuff is like, it's laughable now when I think back at it. There's like 4 weeks into the year. It's like, oh, Darnold building an MVP case. It's like, are we talking about the same quarterback? Like, yeah, I mean, sure. MVP case. Minnesota's struggling to put away teams by margin. They really are. Yes. I mean, they're favored 3.5 to Arizona today. They don't cover. They win. Same thing against Chicago. They would end up pushing on 3 in that game. Previous week to Tennessee, like they let Tennessee hang around. They let Jacksonville with Mac Jones hang around. There's something that is fundamentally broken with the offense where it's
touchdown Davis.
There we go. Anyone who hit the Ray Davis touchdown, there you go. In the early going. First Tutter. I remember that MRM before the game. That's a big one.
Nice win,
That
sir.
is a big one. Imagine hitting Bill's first quarter money line. 3 seconds left. 3 seconds left.
That picture's pretty good too.
Yeah. I don't know. I see Moretto saying that the Vikings won because of Darnold today.
Huh?
I listen. This is what I say. Like, it's the efficiency metrics. I have trouble with the Vikings. I am higher on the Vikings relative to market, and I ask myself the same question every week. It's like, am I going to do this? Because they're going to move the ball. They're not going to score. It's going to be the same song and dance a million times over, and that's kind of where I feel right now. It's just like efficiency is very good between the 20s. They take, Darnold takes sacks. That's like another issue that's been going on for weeks now, and they don't score. Like the reason that the Vikings won today, if we want to be real here, is the Cardinals had 6 trips into the red zone and they scored 1 touchdown. The red zone offense for the Cardinals was an abomination, or the Vikings red zone defense was really good. I think this is a fine number, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
So, I could see myself. I will only bet off my numbers, period. But when I run this Tuesday morning, if I got an edge on Atlanta, I could see myself buying into the Kirk Cousins revenge narrative, by the way. I could really see that happening as well.
I mean, I could see that, but I mean, Atlanta just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see Tampa lose today too, just because I kind of want to see Kirk in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really care. People have like a really strong opinion on like, I want to see Atlanta or Tampa Bay. I'm like, I don't really care. Kind of are like the same to me. They're both like, they both can create some action, is what I would say.
Yeah, it's not going to, I don't think it'll be boring with either of those two quarterbacks. It won't be boring at all.
No. Next game on the board. This one will be boring. I certifiably believe that the New Orleans Saints at the New York Giants will be boring, but guess what? We can bet on it.
Under good to any number.
Well, let's talk about that in a second. Early market, -4.5 juice towards the Giants, and the total is 39.5. I got to tell you, this happened in real time today. I watched Taysom Hill get carted off. Nick Saldiveri, their left guard, got hurt in the game. I think also a bad knee injury. Their center, Eric McCoy's out. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, got hurt. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, baby, there is going to be a nice spot to fade this team next week. And then I pulled up the schedule. I saw it was the Giants. The Giants lost Dexter Lawrence for the season. They're missing their left tackle. We don't know who will start at quarterback. I actually think it's going to be DeVito, honestly, just because the way that they went into this week, we're just like pushing it to the limit. I think they're going to start DeVito next week in this game.
Yeah, I think they have a desire to keep playing him, and I'm not exactly sure why. I did see something about incentives for Drew Lock, but that was just a very passing post, or passing view of a post. I just don't, for whatever reason, they want to play Tommy DeVito. I just don't get why. But I would agree with you. I would expect him to be the one at quarterback next week.
I'm going to be honest, just off the top of my head, it's so hard for me to price this game. It is so challenging. I don't want Kirk Evans to blast me on Twitter for me saying I want nothing to do with either of these teams. If Kirk's watching, please. But I don't want anything to do with either of these teams. Like the Saints, without Taysom Hill, there's a massive drop-off in offensive success rate. You saw it on that 4th down late in the game today. They had to put Derek Carr out on the field in the shotgun, took a sack or fumbled or whatever. Like, they need him on the field for red zone efficiency because they don't have other weapons, period. And it's just getting more and more dire for this offense on a weekly basis. It's just, I look at the other side of the ball. The Giants, they just got blown out by the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys, right? Like,
with Cooper Rush.
Yeah. So I don't know. And like some people say to me, like, well, under. I get that, but do people realize how horrible the Giants defense has been going on like 7 or 8 weeks now? They started the season so strong defensively. They fucking can't do anything defensively now. And they lose Dexter Lawrence. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to. This game is just making my head spin, basically.
If you have, I know you have the data. I don't really look at play-by-play data with lineups as much as you do, but I'd be curious to see how many truly high leverage plays the Saints utilize Taysom Hill in some way, shape, or form, whether it's formation, whether it's actually running the ball through him, whatever that happens to be. But taking him out for all those high leverage plays, that's going to be a very interesting kind of way to handicap what you expect to happen in this game.
Yeah. We'll move on to our next game in a second here. Just some commentary with the field. So I understand the over money now, by the way, at post. There's snow down all over the field. It doesn't appear to be like, it's windy. I can see the snow blowing, but it doesn't appear to be like, okay, this is unthrowable type of weather. And
it's the perfect game to run the ball.
Run the ball short. I mean, we already got 3 targets for McCaffrey, 2 receptions. I don't know why Buffalo's playing. It looked like they're playing 2 safeties. Like deep down, I don't know what's going on here right now. I honestly don't know. They need to play everyone near the line of scrimmage. But there's going to be some explosive plays in this game on like screen passes.
It does. Well, yeah, I mean, changing directions. Like if you get the ball in McCaffrey's hands in any kind of open space, it's going to be kind of hard to tackle him.
Yeah. Next game rotation number order is Jacksonville, Tennessee. I'm just going to check here if we actually have an early line on this game, or whether or not it's stale. Yeah, some books have posted, and producer Jason's got it up at -4.5, -105. Titans 40.5 is the total in the game. So, okay, let's start with Jacksonville. What did you think of the Azeez Al-Shaair hit on Trevor Lawrence?
Honestly, I thought it was disgraceful, like really disgusting. And I'm somebody who likes physical football and all of that, but that was, I mean, he couldn't be any more defenseless. And if you even watch the slow motion, like when they kind of had a good face on view, it looked like he was going to hit him as hard as he fucking could. Like there was nothing about that looked like, oh, he tried to slow up. Nothing. That looked like what he wanted to have happen. So, I mean, I have a pretty big problem with it.
I'm with you. There were some very differing takes there today on Twitter. I got to tell you, that is as close to intent to injure and getting like those hits happen regularly. And granted, quarterback doesn't always get knocked out on those. So it makes it look bad, but it was bad. Like there's just no, I mean, it's done.
They had a close up of his face, like gritting his teeth, like he was going to try and take his head off. I mean, there was no doubt of intent. And then on top of that, like he's getting all pissed off at how people are reacting. Like, are you out of your fucking mind?
I think it was who does Chernoff go on? Mitch Moss. I like Mitch Moss. I think he's a good guy, but he tweeted something today I strongly disagree with, which was like, you know, if this happened 20 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about the retaliation by Evan Ingram is worse than the hit itself. I'm like, no, it's not. Evan Ingram pushed the guy in the back. Like that was, it's not doing damage. It wasn't a direct headshot. I thought that was, listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, their own take. I thought that was just like not what I saw personally.
I mean, Ingram could have bulldogged him off the top rope, and I think that would have been fine. Like I would have been completely okay with that.
There must
I don't know what the flag.
Purdy must have known he had a free play here, right? Like to throw that was like a whaling duck right there.
Yeah.
There's no way he threw that with the intent of complete. If he did,
that looked like illegal contact.
Did just out of curiosity, son DeMar Hamlin, illegal contact can't happen if the quarterback's outside of the pocket. So I'm wondering if they announced that, or if this happened when
they're showing the play.
God, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's what they called?
Did Purdy see the flag and then YOLO'd it? I don't know what the fuck just happened.
But that's the penalty that they called.
Oh yeah, I mean,
listen, full disclosure,
comeback player.
I'm rooting for the Bills, but yeah, that was. Oh, McCaffrey's toast. Oh, live bets. Hello.
Here we go.
McCaffrey's done. What is that? Whew. Like, he didn't even try to run that ball.
No, he just went right down.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't even try to run that. I love how Jason mad scrambles here in real time. Don't you, like, did he not feel this before the play? But guys, Isaac Guerendo and Jordan Mason last touchdowns are very live right now. Very.
Yeah. And this is not something that was unexpected. Like, this is something that easily could have happened.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to be the asshole that's rooting for. I'm not rooting for injury, but it's happened, and that looked bad.
Guerendo just went from 151 to 50-1 to score on this drive.
Yeah, makes sense.
Jordan Mason down to 17-1.
Yeah, they locked the Mason stuff pretty quickly there.
Yeah,
they locked the Mason stuff pretty quickly, which you would expect.
If
you are tuning in on YouTube right now, make sure you smash that like button down below. If it's your first time here, you're watching me and Clive break down the games for next week, make sure you sub here on Forward Progress. You get a reminder, set notifications, and you can click in whenever you get that reminder. First attempt at Debo. All right, 3rd and long. Okay, so with regards to Jacksonville, Tennessee, obviously Trevor Lawrence suffered a concussion. I have seen players suffer what look like very bad concussions and play the next week. Can clear protocol in time. It's Sunday to Sunday. This is being priced like it is Mac Jones. And it very well could be Mac Jones. And Mac Jones sucks. I watched him miss 2 open touchdown passes today, even though he ended up bringing the Jaguars from behind for a cover on the final 2 drives. But who's going to go and click Tennessee minus 4.5, minus 5 in this game? You know what I'm saying?
After what we saw with Tennessee today, like, one of the teams that I actually did played them in a contest, and holy shit, were they bad today. They are just a fucking messed up football team. It wasn't Levis's fault, and I can't blame Will Levis for, I don't think, any of it in the first half at all.
Yeah. Man, Mac Jones stinks. He really does. Tyson Campbell got hurt for the Jags today. He's like one of the only players on their defense that's worth anything. That's a missed field goal right there. It's all coming up, Bills. It's all coming up, Bills. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, like, my first thought is, again, the line is posted. It's assumed that Mac Jones is going to play. I don't like think it's a 100% guarantee.
What do you mean? Well,
yeah.
At this point in the season, like, would you really want to put Trevor Lawrence back there? Like, even from like Peterson's fighting for his life probably back there too, I guess. But I just can't imagine as an organization with, what do they call that? The thing where like you kind of like your hands are twitching, like when you get concussed and you have a bad head injury. Yeah, there was a term for it.
I don't remember what it was. It looked like he had rigor mortis, basically, like when there's like a dead body and there's like Tua did the same thing
happened to Tua.
Times.
Yeah. Don't play the guy next week. I mean, just don't play the guy. But I guess you're right. It could fencing. Yes, thank you. Fishing. No, not fishing.
Not fishing. Not different hobby. Fencing.
Not fishing.
You're not fishing. Fencing response. Yeah, I'm with you. Josh says under in this game. Okay, so I don't disagree, but the only problem is that whenever I see cornerbacks get hurt, so Tyson Campbell hurt, and then the slot corner for Tennessee, Roger McCreary, hurt his shoulder today. I don't really love betting early week unders when there's defensive injuries. I don't love that. it makes logical sense to me. Don't get me wrong. You got Mac Jones, Will Levis. I get it. It's just not in my repertoire to go out and hit the under early when the most downside is at corner in the game.
I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think I'm going to have a lot of interest in the Tennessee Titans team total over this week.
I could see that. Godspeed, Clive. Godspeed.
I know. I'm going to click it. I'm going to be like, do you want to? It should have another button. It should say, really? Like, are you really sure?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I could build that into FanDuel, but like.
Yeah. Las Vegas at Tampa Bay. Early market here at FanDuel is Tampa Bay -7 flat. Total in the game is 44.5. I think this is a short price.
What do you make of the Raiders after the game on Friday? Do you change did your market rating, power rating, do you think it's going to change much at all?
Well, the Raiders, the Raiders get upgraded. I mean, the Raiders averaged almost 7 yards per play on Kansas City. This is a huge run.
Bye, Cook.
Okay.
So slippery, he almost didn't celebrate.
We are in business. Oh, I love the snow games, man. You know what? I heard Chernoff do this rant on Simple Handicap after the Browns-Steelers Thursday night game. Couldn't agree more. All these the new stadiums that are getting built are like all these dome stadiums, right? Cleveland's talking about a new stadium, whether it's going to be indoors or there's something about the winter games. You got I like it. I like having this type of game every once in a while. I really do.
I do too. I mean, the one game that they played in the Meadowlands for the Super Bowl, I forget how many years back it was now. Like, I was hoping for a good big snow game. Like, you just don't get that enough in like some of these big situations. Snow games are fun. I mean, that was the most fun thing to do when I was a kid, was to go out in the snow and play football and tackle and whatever, and get the shit kicked out of each other. But like, that was a good time. Like, this is fun.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so in this particular game, Bucks and Raiders, we got a lot more to get through here. And I'm just realizing how friggin' quick this first half is going by. So I would definitely, like, when I run my model next week, the Raiders will be upgraded. They played a good game. You could very much argue that they were unlucky to not have beaten the Chiefs at Arrowhead in that game. They held the Chiefs offense to 35% success rate. Chiefs couldn't score in the red zone. They, net +2 yards per play, all that. Tampa Bay, Carolina. I mean, Tampa Bay kind of like messed around. It was a fairly even game. Tampa had a very bad game on third downs. They went 2 of 12 on third down overall.
Missed 2 kicks and had a touchdown called, or a potential touchdown.
Did they miss 2 kicks or 1? I think Carolina missed 2.
Carolina missed 2. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
So Carolina left points on the board is what I meant.
Yes. It's a big price for Tampa, but the Raiders, like, I don't even know who they're trotting out at running back anymore. Sincere McCormick. I never even heard of this guy before I saw him on Black Friday. They have, I really want to monitor the status of Nate Hobbs, their slot corner, who missed this past week. Like, Baker will attack when you have cornerback injuries. Jacorian Bennett is on IR. I kind of think that Tampa ran into a Carolina team that is just way better than I think people give them credit for right now. And
trending up.
I don't know. Maybe in my head, what I think of AOC is not matching the reality of things. But FanDuel's -7, -110, a flat 7. I think that's a good bet. You don't seem to echo those sentiments right now.
No, it's more that I have a hard time pricing the Raiders. It's not anti-Tampa. I mean, I've been high in the Tampa offense the last couple of weeks now. I just don't know how to price the Raiders, and Aiden O'Connell looks like somebody that won a contest at WrestleCon that they just picked out of like the audience and said, "Hey, do you want a quarterback?"
Yeah.
And and somehow they competed with and should have beaten the Chiefs this week. So I'm having a very difficult time pricing the Raiders. I definitely don't.
Mike says
Go
he
ahead.
likes the over 44.5. The only instinctively, yes, but the problem with the Raiders overs is that Pierce is taking field goals all the time. He's taking field goals. He's not going to be the guy to make the plus EV move, go for it on 4th and 1 other side of the field. That's not him.
No, that'll almost never happen. Put it this way, I have no interest in the Raiders at 7. I just don't know what the number should really be. And I don't think this is a 6.5 at all. So
I want to highlight something from the chat here. Daniel Cook says Cook 100 plus at plus 110 looks like a great bet. He is at 69 yards right now. I would agree because they're up. I want to make sure that's a real line because it actually seems mispriced to me if that's actually the case.
Go Jordan Mason.
Oh, he is going. He is going.
This is fun.
It is fun. I agree with you.
Of course, all this running the ball is making the clock go very quickly.
Yeah, it changed a little now. Okay, Daniel, I do appreciate you pointing that out. You've done your service. We got to be quicker with this type of stuff. We got to be quicker. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, let's skip over for now. We'll come back on it. It's time dependent. Cleveland's playing tomorrow night. Carolina at Philadelphia. Philly minus 12.5 at home, 44.5. Okay, so it is a big number. Philly passed the litmus test for me today. They really did. I did not like the matchup for them. Most importantly for me is that their defense survived, like held up.
Mm-hmm.
All the questions about the schedule of this defense over the last 6 to 8 weeks, you can't, like, they shut down the Ravens offense. Now, granted, a little bit misleading. Justin Tucker missed a couple field goals. You know, there was some bullshit that happened, but it happens in the NFL. I like the Eagles a lot, generally speaking. I just can't, like, in my head, I'm not getting to these Carolina prices anymore.
Before this week, I mean, does anybody know what this opened? Not opened, but was the look ahead 13.5 or 14? That's what I would expect. I think the probably market just adjusted slightly towards Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, there's also lots of moving parts.
If this feels like a price that's a little bit, like, I feel like I would have interest in the Panthers at 12.5.
I know. There's 13s out. I should point out there's 13s out there right now. So in the early going here, if you're betting early, probably want to grab a 13, not the 12.5. You have Devontae Smith.
Warner to the locker room, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
Who went to the locker room?
Yeah.
Oh, Warner's up. Oh my God, man. They got nobody. That defense is a disaster. Devontae Smith probably will be back. Darius Slay dealing with a concussion. Reed Blankenship got hurt today. He got a concussion. Dallas Goedert hurt his knee late in the game. Britton Covey got hurt. There's a lot going on the Philly side right now. It seems just a little high. Just a little high. Like I'm kind of like, it's got to be above 10, but I think lower than 13.
Yeah, 10.5 to 11, I think, is where the number's probably going to land.
That's my thoughts. Total. We haven't talked much in terms of total. Usually, I'm thinking totals first. I haven't seen anything that really stands out to me. I mean, 44.5. Fanduel, does that not seem a little low? I know how good the Philly defense is. They're going to run. Saquon's going to have 200 yards in this game on the ground.
Yeah, I did think that looks a little low, and I mean, that is the lowest price in market, so if you do like the over, FanDuel's where you should probably be hitting it. Um, Tampa's defense is not good, and this is definitely gonna be a step up in class for Bryce Young. I'm trying to think of another defense that was I mean, KC is probably the best analog of a defense that was solid, and
Yeah.
they played
You
okay.
can throw on KC though. And I know I do have that. That is definitely the concern for me right now, because it is a big step up in class for Bryce Young. And but they got a running game. I know not today. Chuba he cost them in overtime with the fumble. It's a tough one.
It was
Hard to
interesting,
say
the
who-
usage in the game for Chuba today too, where it felt like Brooks got a lot more carry. I don't know what the hell happened there or why.
They got away from the run for a bit as well in that game. I lost some Chuba overs today, but it seemed like a 2-to-1 type of share between Chuba and Brooks today. Purdy can't take that sack, by the way. It's good for the alt lines, but wow.
Nice
What
punt.
a punt. That is a punt. That is a punt. All right, let's get through some more games here. Okay. Jets and the Dolphins. So I told you a little story, Clive, about seeing the New Orleans injuries today and being like, I want to fade this team, then looking and seeing that they play the Giants. Well, guess what? The same is true for Miami. Miami's -6.5, -05 at home. 44.5 is the total. Miami got decimated in the game against Green Bay. They went in, like I mentioned, without Kendall Fuller and Anthony Walker on defense. They lost 2 more corners. They lost their slot corner. They lost Cam Smith. They lost their nose tackle, Benito Jones. They lost their right tackle, who's already a backup right tackle, Kendall Lamb. They got decimated. Now they have extra time to prep for this game, having played Thursday. But naturally, who are they scheduled against? They're scheduled against the Jets, who just fucking suck. Brandon Eccles had to leave the game today. He was dehydrated, by the way. He left the game with dehydration. Sauce Gardner also was in and out, seemed okay in the locker room afterwards. I don't know.
Watching the Jets is painful. Now, I'll say, and you and I think both were on the Dolphins this week. I don't think it was, at least offensively, it wasn't as bad as the score indicated. They missed a shit ton of tackles, like a lot of tackles. So defensively, it just looked really, really, really bad. I don't know if that's going to necessarily happen again. I think this number is kind of fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the total's low. I think
what was the total? 44.5?
44.5. I think Miami currently, like if we talk about since Tua has been back, they have a top 5 offense. They do. Like, forget about the Green Bay game. The Green Bay game was over the second whoever was back to receive that punt muffed it in the early going. Miami was trailing game state the entire game. Tua definitely missed some throws, which I will give him the benefit of the doubt and attribute to the cold, because he actually usually hits a lot of those throws. Had wide open receivers. They have a very good offense, right? This is too low. Like the Jets defense, I know what their personnel looks like, but they suck.
Oh, they're bad.
The Jets defense fucking can't. I mean, okay, sure. They limited Seattle. Again, I can go on and on about Seattle's offense, which is also broken. Take a bunch of negative plays. I think 44.5 is too low for a total here.
I do too. I think my interest is going to be maybe in a Dolphins team total too, just because the Jets are so fucking bad offensively that I just don't have any trust in them whatsoever. But I mean, I do expect the over to kind of take money, and it looks like it's already moving, to be honest.
Yeah, not a surprise that you. Whenever I come in with some,
but when I say it, it goes the other way.
Well, I mean, listen. Sometimes they move back. They move with us early, but they move back against us later on sometimes. Hey, Dorado, good to see you in the chat. The French sports betting community, I'm not familiar with that, but
maybe Suma knows you.
I'm not French speaking. I don't know. Good to have new people on board. appreciate you for being in the chat. Okay, let's keep going here. We're almost down to the 2-minute warning, so let's try to fire through as many more games as possible. Seattle and Arizona.
Dawson Knox.
Okay, there's one. I have some Dawson Knox over, and he's just moving the pile. Hard to take guys down with no footing. What I'm interested with Seattle, Arizona next week is that there's no injuries. There's a healthy team against healthy team. That's what I like to see in football. It's an important game in the NFC West. Early market here, Arizona -2.5, -110. Total in the game, 45.5, juiced towards the under. I think this is an under, Clive. That's my first. I think this is an under.
I don't think it's an over. That's for sure. I'm trying to think. Do I think it's the right number or not?
It's the right opener because you can't go anywhere. Like you can't go as low as 44. You can't go as high as 47. It's in like no man's land opener, right? So you kind of put it out there and see where it goes. The Seattle offense is not good, and the Seattle defense is good. The final score today, 26-21, it makes it look like the Jets scored 21 points on that defense. They did nothing. Jets didn't move the ball. Now, Arizona's better than the Jets, but this is.
But Arizona's defense is sneaky good too. Like they're not what they were last year. So I agree with you that I think under is the right look.
You know what though? Jordan does bring it. It's Geno in a dome. It's no longer an outdoor game. Geno sucks in those outdoor games. Arizona is they're greater than the sum of the parts on defense. They just find ways to get it done. Yeah. They just find ways to get it done. I don't know. Honestly, now that I'm thinking more about it, I honestly don't know. It's tough.
I don't think it closes any less than like 44.5, but it's probably 45. And I think it just maybe sits there and maybe bounces back and forth a little bit this week.
Yeah.
But I don't really see much more than that. The Jets had an EPA per play today of, I think, like 0.23 and a success rate of 37%. Seattle's offense had a success rate of 37%. Like, this is
an ugly game.
Yeah.
Ugly. 2 turnovers each team. Disgusting game. Tough watch. Neither team.
I think the 2.5 is fine.
I suspect Seattle will get bad.
Yeah, I don't think this goes to 3. But I prefer Arizona, Seattle in this situation too. So if this goes down to 1.5, I think I would have a lot of interest without even looking at, numbers to take Arizona.
Yeah. Bills and Rams off the board with the Bills in play right now. Same with Bears 49ers. We'll talk about those briefly. Is it Sunday Night Football next week? Chargers and Chiefs? It is. We're going to be on for Chargers Chiefs next week. Chiefs laying 3.5, total 43.5, early number here. This will be predicated on what the Chargers defense looks like for me next week. The Chiefs are healthy. They're playing like shit, but they're healthy. The Chargers have been missing Denzel Perriman, and they were missing Cam Hart today, one of their corners. They had some issues defensively. And honestly, it was like such a fraudulent win for them today where I don't know. Both teams had fraudulent wins this week. It does feel like the 3.5 is valuable, but I don't know that the market will necessarily bet it that way, if that makes sense.
Do you think this goes more towards 4?
Well, I'm looking at how these teams have been priced all year long, right? If I were to go any week of the season and put these teams head together with the way that they've been priced, it would be like KC 4.5 or higher every single time.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So you're basically at the market low on KC right now.
Yes.
I don't love to fade those types of spots.
No, not at all. 3.5 there. I kind of like a lot. I like the under too. I think we talked about it last week, and if I'm remembering it correctly, you kind of disagreed with me on the Chiefs Raiders under. You thought, I don't know if you made a play on it or not, but
No, I didn't bet that game, luckily, but yeah.
I just don't have a lot of interest in taking a Chiefs or a Chargers over right now at all. I think these are two under teams that have quarterbacks that should be over quarterbacks, but they're just not.
I have a lack of faith in both teams right now. And I know it's like Chargers just off one loss. The Chargers, I appreciate what Harbaugh has brought to that team. Like, he seems to be well-liked. He's got the team on the right track. They still coach the game like it's 1990 sometimes.
Also, that fake punt was stupid as fuck, but
that was a weird one, but like they don't really take advantage of the weaknesses that the other teams present to them a lot. It seems to be very balanced football a lot of times. And it's just little things I look at, like look at the Chargers have not thrown the ball. I want to double check this. I'm pretty sure I saw it on Twitter today, but I'm almost certain I read this properly. The Chargers have not thrown the ball on 2nd and 2 or less this season.
I don't know that I noticed that, but now that you say it, I mean, I believe it.
Like a down where you would want to take a shot, they're just running the ball to pick up a first down.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like Harbaugh's MO.
Right?
And that was like my whole issue's not the right word. Concern, whatever, when they did hire Harbaugh, that's what I thought they were going to do to this offense. That they were basically going to, neuter it. Yeah. Not like they have a ton of weapons at wide receiver or anything. McConkey's fun to watch. What's his injury status, by the way?
He's going to be McConkey is going to be on the injury report for his entire career. Listen, I love Lad McConkey. I love the guy, but he fucking takes big hits and he's small. Takes big hits and he's small. I don't think there's anything to do right now at 3.5. That's like even for total. I know you're a little bit more bullish on the under here than I am. I mean,
not huge. I don't think this is going to move a ton, but I don't think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to go up. I don't think this will go to 44. Just early opinion.
I think you're right. Also, like, it'd probably be pretty cold beginning of December at Arrowhead as well.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I don't
have any of these totals, weather withstanding, moving all that much this week. I just don't really see it.
I think a lot of these are. This is a good openers. I think. Yeah. Generally, I mean, we didn't have a ton of injuries today either. That plays a factor. We don't know weather in a lot of the games. That plays a factor. I think like the bigger injury games are also games that maybe we have potentially skip. I know the Chicago Bears have some offensive line injuries. Darnell Wright got hurt. They're playing San Fran next week. That's going to be like a huge injury game. There's stuff like that. Monday Night Football, which they can't flex out, by the way, because there's some sort of like Simpsons. Like, did you hear about this?
Mm-mm. What is this?
I have a real problem reading full stories. I only read the title, but they cannot flex Cincy Dallas out. They could not do it because they had prepared some sort of Simpsons like voiceovers for animations for the game, and they had already done them all.
What is it, like a 30 or 40 year? Like, I have no idea how long The Simpsons has been out. It must be fucking forever.
I love The like Simpsons. The 90s. Yeah, here we go. It's going to be like something like this as on screen. The Simpsons Fun Day Football. I love The Simpsons.
Probably 35 years.
Oh yeah, it's nuts, man. There's so many episodes, so many seasons. Early line is Bengals -6, wherever it's listed right now. Total in the game 48.5. Juice towards the under. We know the under is going to take money in this game because it does every
for
week.
Sure. Yeah.
Of note, Bengals were missing Sheldon Rankins again on the D-line and Logan Wilson in their linebacking core today. They can ill afford to miss any players on defense because they're not deep. Cowboys had a bunch of injuries as well. CeeDee Lamb got hurt. Jake Ferguson was missing. Trayvon Diggs. There's a lot going on there. I just don't know how you can justify Bengals in this price range right now. I don't. They can't play defense.
No, and I also don't know how can this under also take money? Like, that just feels ridiculous to me. I'm looking for. Here we go. Go ahead.
I would agree with you. I don't know.
It just happens every week.
Here's the thing about Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush sucks, but he can throw on a bad defense. That's one thing I feel confident in. We saw it against the Giants. By the way, Dallas even had a running game against the Giants. Like Rico Dowdle, now that they're giving him all the carries, the offense is kind of coming to life. The Bengals, I mean, should they be missing Rankins and Logan Wilson again? That's going to be a problem.
Matt Collins wearing shoes?
What?
Look at him. He scored a touchdown.
Actually, that was a sick play because Allen, he just like, it's like he was just hanging around in the pocket forever there. It's like, no one's open. Holland's one-on-one. There we go. All right.
Pretty good throw. 9 plays, 97 yards.
Yeah. 9 for 97. It's just too easy right now. Too easy for Bills. Just got to keep pumping. Got to hit all the alts. Keep pumping. Okay, so I'm just going to say I even with all the injury uncertainty on the Dallas side, I think Dallas +6 is I'm not a Cowboys homer. I've been betting against them all year. But this is the point where I draw the line now. And I'm not even going to drop the narratives, which might actually be not a narrative, but a lot of people will talk this week about how Cincy season is done now. They're toast. Like what is Cincinnati's record after today? They were basically like 10% to make the playoffs going into today, and they lost again. They're pretty much cooked. 4-8? Sure.
I think they're 4-8. Yeah, 4-8.
If Tunes finally got off the 4-9, 4-8, 4-9, 4-8. If Tunes finally got off the Cowboys bandwagon, now is the time to get back on. Now's the time.
Dallas, Tennessee, Cleveland, Denver, Pittsburgh all left. Those are their 5 remaining games.
This was the only one that
either way, the number's too high
to me. Yeah, it's the only one that stood out to me. Like that's it. What Cowboys? A little bit of extra rest. Not that it matters all that much. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking about this now. Sorry to revisit. The Chargers this week had to play a short week. They played Monday Night Football, so they're on a short week. They played Atlanta off of a bye. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to get the same bullshit against Kansas City, where Kansas City's got extra rest against the Chargers, and they're playing regular rest. Who put that in the fucking schedule making app in the NFL office? There's just going to be more conspiracy theories about KC this week.
Man, the library is going to go nuts. This is an easy KC money line.
It's going to be nuts. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. All right. We covered all those games. Pretty good
Costanza.
I love Seinfeld, man. I love Costanza. It's like my favorite character ever. In some ways, reminds me of me, but I've been a little bit luckier in life. I've caught some breaks. I've caught some breaks.
I'm unemployed and I live alone I live with my parents. Like that. Yeah. The opposite Costanza episode, I think, might be my second favorite episode of Seinfeld.
You know, so many bettors could just watch that episode and they should just do the opposite of what they think. If they have an intuition to click that cash out button, just don't click it. If you want to throw a bunch of stuff into a parlay, just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Like,
yeah,
that's it. A lot of people could watch that and learn something from it. We skipped over some games. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. I mean, I am going to guess that Pittsburgh will be slight. We're looking at tomorrow night's game, and Denver's laying 5.5. at home to the Cleveland Browns, or 6 across the board right now. I would imagine the Steelers have to be priced higher than that going into next week, but maybe not a full touchdown would be my guess if I was going to send out an opener there. And I haven't looked at that, or if anyone's listing that right now, but feels like it's got to be around 6.5.
Yeah, so it's varying between if this price is actually still live on Fanduel. I don't know if it is. It's -5.5, -120, all the way up to -6.5, -15. So it's right where you're saying it's at.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. And then these teams, Buffalo, LA Rams, that'll be an interesting game. I got to tell you, man, the Rams I'm not impressed with the Rams anymore. Something fundamentally seems broken about that team. I know they got the win today. Fundamentally seems broken.
I've had trouble with that team all year of figuring out where they belong. I keep wanting to think that their defense is a little better than it is, and that their offense is a little better than it is, and it's just not. I'm just a little too high on them to the point where I can't trust my own instincts on them. So I'm kind of out to lunch on the Rams.
Without knowing the number for Chicago San Fran next week, that would have shaped up to be such a good over if San Fran's defense is decimated right now. But Purdy's arm just throws that they like into question basically at this point. I'm not sure what else I could do there. But
Chargers taking money.
Yep. I mean, the Chiefs don't really cover spreads. They don't right now.
True.
Who just got that screen? Was that Debo? There's no downfield passing. It's just all screens, right?
Pretty much. Everything's underneath.
Like, can Purdy? I mean, if I lose this Purdy under pass attempts and under long completion, I'm gonna lose my mind tonight. I'm gonna lose it.
Well, they got 10 seconds and 1 timeout, so this is probably going to be some sort of cross over the middle of the field. But where are they going to kick it from? Like, they're on their 45, and now Buffalo takes timeout.
I was going to say they should, now that you've seen the formation, you can do that. Purdy's A-dot must be half. You know what? What is his A-dot tonight? I will be very interested to see what it is. It feels that way, right? No, there was one. The first throw of the game was 7 yards to Kittle, I'm pretty sure.
It's -0.3.
Oh my God.
I've never seen that before.
-0.3 A-dot. His average has been behind the line of scrimmage.
Man. This is awesome.
Fuck. What's Allen? Allen's got to be like 5 yards. He's at least thrown some 6 yards.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude. What a privilege it is to bet the NFL.
Oh, let's watch Moody try a 53-yard or whatever that is.
Did it not seem like that ball was in the air for 5 seconds? Is it just me?
I mean, Purdy.
It's a good throw. It was a dime. But it felt like it hung up there for a while. Yeah, it's not bad. It was not bad. So looks like he went out at the 36 or 37 there.
Yeah, I think it's
He's kicking into the wind in this quarter. This in the
snow. This
can't. I'll be very impressed if this goes through.
Is this what he's going to make? No. You know what I'm surprised at? Why did Buffalo not have somebody back there?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That landed so short.
Well,
I wish
the back judge tried to kick it trap it like it was a soccer ball. Why do you have your head on your heads? Did you expect to make it? Like, what are you, out of your mind?
but it wasn't even close. I think he thought he ripped. I think he like for that reaction, he must have hit it really well.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
He
fucking
seems very
freezing.
dejected. Yeah. He seems very dejected.
Who was the kick today that was super long that ended up like maybe 2 yards short, but it was right down the pipe? Fuck, I can't remember.
Oh,
It was like a 60-yarder.
yeah. No, it was really long. It was like a 68-yarder.
Yeah, it was big. Oh, it's the guy in the Patriots, Sly.
Joey Sly. Yeah. You know, we didn't talk about that game at all because the Patriots and Colts are on their bye next week. And I bet the Patriots and I don't want to say I never get angry during games. That would be a complete lie. I get upset every now and then, but I usually don't get as animated as I was watching that game in particular because the Patriots should have destroyed the Colts today. They should have destroyed the Colts. They can't score in the red. I mean, that seems to be the theme of the day. A lot of these teams, like Atlanta went 1 for 4 in the red zone. Arizona 1 for 6. New England 2 for 6 in the red zone. Carolina 1 for 4. Teams cost themselves in the red zone. But the Colts just they sucked today and they won the game. I love the decision by Steichen to end it, not only or to go for 2, not only for a Patriots spread bet, but for the Colts. Like that, forget about the fact that it converted.
Mm-hmm.
Love that call.
Oh, I did too. I was thinking if I had the Colts in that situation, I honestly at the time wasn't thinking about anybody in Survivor. It turns out one person did have them.
Wow.
And if I was them, I would absolutely would have wanted them to go for 2 there. I'm not going to go as far as saying like wrong team favored, but I think they're a lot more even of a team, like 2 teams. And with Drake May, I think the Patriots have a lot more upside. If you can get that guy some weapons and just a little bit of pass pro, like Jesus Christ, like he is really good.
And he's got legs too. Like May can move. I like
he's
Drake
what the
May
Giants hoped Daniel Jones were going to be, and probably what the Bears hoped Mitch Trubisky was going to be, but he's actually the real deal. Like he can actually throw the ball down the field.
Jaden Daniels rebounded today nicely. That game was a blowout from start to finish. I'm not a good quarterback evaluator. Like that's not what I'm good at. I don't watch tape and be like, but when I watch games, instinctively, it feels like Drake May is going to be the best quarterback out of this draft class. That's what it feels like. I like Jaden Daniels. I also hate to say this. I feel like Jaden Daniels is heading towards a career where he's going to have to deal with injuries because of his running style. He's small. He invites contact a lot. We've already seen it happen once this year. Caleb, don't even get me started.
No. Just no.
No. If I could redraft right now, if there was a redraft right now, right? Caleb's going 3rd to any team.
Yes.
After watching this season.
Yeah, Drake May would have been 1. I don't want to say Caleb was going to be 4 and JJ McCarthy's 3rd by default, but Drake May is probably the best quarterback in the last 2 draft classes, I would say. He doesn't necessarily play all that much like a rookie. Bo Nix is 3rd. Ouch.
I've come around on Nix. I've come around.
I haven't. I think he's good enough to be a game manager and be okay. Like I don't, but he does. No, I don't know. But I'm with you in the sense that I don't watch a ton of college. I don't evaluate tapes on quarterbacks, so I really haven't done anything like that in years. So I have to go off of what everybody else kind of tells me.
Yeah. Well, this Kyle brings up. I was joking about this today. I'm like, did David Tepper have it right all along? Is Bryce Young the best quarterback? I don't even know. I don't know what's the NFL. there is such a roller coaster. You got to react to new information that becomes available and try not to overreact to small samples either. There's just like so much to process. I mean, CJ Stroud looks fundamentally broken. However,
I think we broke Jason, by the way. I don't know what he's typing in chat. Like, I don't know what's happening.
He's still on the Caleb Williams train. He's out.
I'll give you 2 minutes to talk about Caleb when Rob finishes this thought.
Yeah, no, we can. Jason, come on in. Go. Let's go.
Yeah,
you got your time. I don't know if he's got to put on pants now or something. I have no idea what he's.
So my thing with CJ Stroud was last year, like the whole thing. Oh, so many passes without interceptions, low pick numbers. There was a lot of positive interception luck on his side of the fence too. I mean, he was really, 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 really good for a rookie. He just hasn't taken another step forward this year.
Well, I don't want to say Slowick is the worst OC because there's worse. There's like Nathaniel Hackett. There's guys that are worse, but Slowick is a terrible offensive coordinator.
He's not set up for success.
No, he's
perspective.
They're constantly behind the chains, like over
Jesus
and over.
Christ.
And
Did you
over.
go put that on?
No, I was always wearing. I always wear it. I wear it every day, all the time.
That doesn't surprise me. Continue.
Sorry. So just quickly, we were talking about CJ Stroud, right? You guys, before I jumped in here. And what was the first thing you said?
Me?
What was the first thing? No, Rob, what was the first thing you said? That his OC is terrible?
Yeah.
My brother. Caleb, could you get worse than the OCs that Caleb has had?
Well, I mean, Bryce Young has got fucking Dave Canales planning stuff for him.
Yeah, but Bryce Young had, what's his name? The current offensive coordinator for the Bears last year. He looked horrible.
Yeah.
They looked horrible. So don't throw the baby out the bathwater with Caleb Williams. Give him some time.
Do you think he's better than Drake May? Do you think he's going to have a better career than Drake May?
He could, yeah. I think he could.
Yes, he could. Give me a percentage. 40%?
Yeah, probabilistically.
50%?
I don't like to speak in certainty. 55? But going into the year, you would have said 100%.
No. I would probably have said like 75 to 80, probably 90. Yeah, 90 probably. I don't know. Don't you guys see the flashes that Caleb has? Like,
yes, but negative plays count. What do you judge?
Yeah, exactly.
No, of course. But also, like, it's not like they have, again, not great play design, bad play sequencing, bad play calling. It's just like a horrible mess of a situation. I think we should just relax with the Caleb stuff until next year, until we can see what he does under like a proper offensive coordinator. If he gets Ben Johnson, like we're gonna be having a completely different conversation about him next year about how good he is.
Well, he's gonna have to make the throws and not take sacks.
He'll be able to make the throws.
And is he going to snap the ball, or is he just going to let the clock run down 30 seconds?
You're going to completely get into that.
I have a very strong take on this situation.
Go. So do I. Go.
I would assign 100% of the blame for the Bears endgame to Caleb Williams, because if you watch that 32 seconds back, and you watch it under with the known fact that Caleb Williams doesn't know that he thinks they have 0 timeouts. He does not realize they have a timeout. He fucking bumbled around his post-game speech a million times. He's still fucking clueless. And he kind of clued in real time in his post-game presser that they had a timeout. But in real time, he doesn't think he has a timeout. Matt Eberflus thinks that Caleb Williams knows he has a timeout because every head coach in the league thinks that their quarterbacks know their timeout situation. If you watch that play, there's one thing that could have changed, which was they could have immediately used a timeout right at 32 seconds on the completion. But right away, they've called in a play. They're going to run another quick pass, and then they're going to use their timeout. That's the entire plan. Caleb stands at the line, gets the team set up and ready to go. At this point, you got to let it go. And then he starts fucking audibling shit and changing stuff. By the time you get down to like, people are like, oh, call a timeout with 7-6. You're done. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn just going to play sidelines on the next play. You're toast. You're going to have to try a field goal that's outside your kicker's range. There was nothing that they could have done in that instance. Eberflus, he's an idiot. Eberflus deserves so much blame. But in that moment, he's relying. It looks like his quarterback is under control until he's not. And then by the time he's not, it's already too late.
Yeah, but I actually agree with that. My thing is that also, like, again, it's the coach's job to have your players prepared, and it's the coach's job to like kind of, you know, coach these situations into players. Caleb unfortunately had maybe one of the worst clock managing college football coaches in like all of college. Like Lincoln Riley is horrible with his clock management, horrible with his timeout. So he has no real it's called base to learn from. And I get it. Maybe that's not a fair answer to say because he could just learn it. But like I think a lot has to do with the coaches. Also, like you got to be like the coach should be communicating with him, saying, "Hey, we have a timeout. This is what we want to do." Right? Like, is that not like that? So it's obviously there's blame to be assigned for everyone, but throwing all the blame on the 23-year-old rookie quarterback who's played 11 games, I think, is a mistake.
Well, okay. So at post game, Caleb outed himself in that post game that he was not aware of the situation. Eberflus's post game, to me, like Memphis says, how do we know the coaches were in the headset saying they weren't in the headset saying to audible? What Eberflus said was, we got a play called in quickly, and it was supposed to be like 10-yard ins, and we were going to use a timeout after that play. And he's watching this develop in real time, and that's exactly what it looks like they're doing, because Caleb's calling his receivers back. They're lined up, and then at that moment, Caleb looks at the clock and he's thinking to himself, we no longer have the time to run this. We're not going to be able, because he doesn't think they have a timeout. So he starts motioning and audibling. And at the end, he's, you know, Caleb after the game says, I had to take that shot downfield. That was the right thing to do. And that's because he didn't realize he had a timeout. Now, definitely there could have been a time where Eberflus says, Caleb, we got one timeout. You know, we're going to throw this quick pass. You use the last timeout, whatever, some sort of. But he thought he burned the last time out previously on the drive, clear as day.
Yeah, that was also a mistake, by the way. Like, but
100%.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was all fucked up. But at some like, I will get, Eberflus is a moron. Should have been fired.
Yes, he shouldn't have even made it to this year. He shouldn't have made it
completely unqualified to run. There's 32 NFL head coaching jobs. Eberflus has one. Antonio Pierce. You know, there's morons. And he didn't deserve that job. But in that particular instance, he got all the blame and Caleb got none of it. It wasn't even Bill Cowher afterwards is like roasting, like you're the
Cowher and Jimmy Johnson.
You've played high school football, you've played college football, you're the fucking number one pick in the draft. You have to know how many timeouts you have left. I don't care how old you are. Don't care.
Fair.
Yeah, that part I agree. I guess the way that I look at it is it was just one more spot where Eberflus doesn't have his team prepared and 100%. The team is just making mental errors. So in the game, that's Caleb's fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's to even say that, like, let's say they did complete a pass and get the ball in bounds. Like, I don't know. I saw people complain about them not calling the timeout earlier on in the, like right when the play, whatever. There's the ball. When he got sacked. Do you think that was like a minus EV move?
Debo.
Do you think that was a minus EV move?
Say that again?
To not call, sorry, to go about it the way they did with how they handled their timeout? Or was that the right thing to do, where assume you get a play, keep it for the kick and then call it? Or just with how dysfunctional this team is, just call the timeout anyways, because like fuck, he took a sack like with 33 seconds.
So
left.
Like some teams would
by the way, the right fucking thing out. Anyways, sorry.
No. Like some teams have it together. Like if it was the Lions or if it was, they would know exactly what to do. They would complete the pass and they would be drilled in this situation already. They probably would have already called 2 plays prior to that play. Like a lot of teams in the league, instead of like there's so many teams that would know exactly what to do and they didn't. They had no clue. Listen, in hindsight, with the way that the game ended, of course, it would have been way better served to call a timeout at 32 seconds. But it's totally reasonable to complete that and tell your quarterback to hurry up to the line and throw a fucking 10-yard curl to somebody That's like, yeah.
This is the last. I think people want us to get back to the game. Last thing I want to say about this though is that again, I'm seeing like people in the chat saying that he's terrible. Like, these traits aren't positive traits for an NFL quarterback. Blah blah blah. People are forgetting everything that happened before that point though. Like, look at where he brought them in that game, and he gets like. People are forgetting that and not assigning credit for that. I get it. There was some mistakes. Also, the run, like just the comedy of errors that they were basically on the 20-yard line and then somehow got out of field goal range in 3 plays. It was ridiculous. And DJ Moore is also, I'm sorry, his receivers have been selling him out and hanging him out the drive. That guy is the biggest like bitch receiver in the league. It's true. He is like, he's afraid of.
I hate guys like
that.
He
lets up on balls. Like he's afraid of contact. He's lazy. On the pass interference, that should not have been a pass interference.
Yeah, they got bailed out. They should have never been there anyway.
He gave up on 100%. The route. He literally gave up on it. You saw Caleb scrambling. He stopped running. Anyways,
I agree with you.
Will go red in the face talking about this stuff. Sorry.
That was a joke.
Yeah, you're matching your jersey.
Honestly.
I got to tell you, I made a mistake. In Tampa Bay, Las Vegas, I forgot that Baker got hurt in game as well. So bad advice on my part. If you already bet Bucks -7, I would say wait it out there. I don't like quarterback injuries, dealing with that. But yes. Anyways, Clive, all the best.
Good talking.
Talk to you next week.
All right. See you guys.
Bixby, everyone.
See ya. Anyways, let's see what happens. That's Caleb gets me going. Like Kyle can't listen to me talk about average players.
Boners or anger?
Angers.
I don't know. When you said Caleb gets you going,
he gets me go both.
Okay.
But I like average players. Like how many quarterbacks could have done what he did there? Like crazy. I'm gonna remember all this stuff in like next year.
Sorry, how many quarterbacks could have done what? Sorry, what?
Could have came back the way that he did with how much with how shit his offensive line is, with the shit that's surrounding him. Like,
yeah, I don't know, 2/3 of the league.
I'll give you 1/3.
I mean, he dug himself a pretty big hole in that game. No,
maybe, but like in the first quarter, they ran 3 plays. Was that what, or was it 6 plays? It was like,
so I'm just saying, they dug themselves a big hole. All right, I'm done with Caleb Williams for now. I'm not done with this guy though. He's the best. Geoffrey Fienberg.
I can't believe you made me listen to that for so long.
Stuff. You're being urged to put on headphones.
Yeah, I am. Rob, I spent like so much time in the last bit untangling a pair of headphones perfectly, and now they don't work. So now I'm trying to emergency get another pair untangled quickly.
Well, you know what, Jeff? I brought you on right away. We got an echo. I don't care. It's Bill's ball.
Hold on. I'll fix this in a moment. Don't worry. It's fixed.
No worries. It's fixed.
You got me?
I got you, yeah.
Okay, so now headphones in.
Okay, wait,
headphones are in.
Lower your
mic,
your gain. Your gain on your mic. It's just too high.
Check.
There you go.
There, that's better. That's good. All right. We're in. We got a fumble returned by the Bills. I'm gonna. I don't know what you got on this game, Jeff. I'm gonna have to cheer against you if it's anything 49ers related.
No, I'm big on the Bills, Rob.
Yeah.
I have actually the Bills to end some beautiful tickets. Money line, and today was the least amount of like bets I probably made for this season. I had a hard time finding games I wanted to bet. I bet the shit out of the Rams, and then I bet it again because thanks to this interim coach on the Saints' agent, I guess Schefter owed that guy a favor. So he sent out a tweet this morning that bothered me so much. No, I'm just saying. I'll save it. But that tweet bothered me so much, I actually felt the urge to bet more on the Rams. While that game was nervous at times, and it's never fun when you're like cheering for the team you're cheering against the whole game to make a 2-point conversion. But that's what happened. But all I'll say about the Caleb Williams thing is that happened to the Chargers once before the half. It happened before the half in the Anthony Lynn era, and you've made fun of me about it before without knowing the exact story. It was against Atlanta in December in Herbert's rookie year, and I was yelling so loud, as I'm sure a Bears fan was, but like that being the end of the game. I was so mad that in the other room, my daughter started crying while she was decorating holiday cookies. So that's the story where my daughter, so that happened. But today, due to holiday circumstances, I was not where I wanted to be, having to watch the Charger game, but I watched it, and I was with the whole clan after. And who got it better than us? Nobody. But it was a football game. I thought I was watching a basketball game, Rob, because people are going to point to Kirk Cousins' interceptions. Oh my God, it's so much worse than the interceptions. If you watch the tape, it is so much worse than the interceptions. Now, did Herbert play horrible today? Well, it was 7 on 11 for the Chargers on offense, because it was the offensive line, Herbert, Ladd against 11 guys. So something's got to fucking give. I am happy they won, but that was disgraceful. That's disgraceful. That was a disgraceful situation. And my eyeballs tell me it's not Justin's fault. Now, fair and balanced people can tell me maybe it is. No. But you know what? They won a game where he played fucking horrible. Or the offense was horrible.
The offense was horrible.
Yeah, horrible. Like, unequivocally, god-awful, and they won that game. So that was awesome. But let me get back to this quarterback on Minnesota. They got to change. And I'll tell you why. Rob, it wasn't the interceptions. This guy had open men at big points, and it was Steve Nash. Bounce pass.
Yeah.
Except that's the wrong sport. This guy was throwing bounce passes in key situations in the game where Atlanta could have been up 14-3 or something. Like early. Yeah. He is horrible. Fourth and twos. It's like at the shoestring of Mooney. Like he had to get bailed. Like he sucks. And I was a fan. I'm a fan. I like him, but it's like, oh my God, the Vikings knew this guy's damaged goods. We need no part of it. Atlanta knew he was damaged goods because they felt the need to use the draft pick. I don't know if you can put the kid in because the games have high leverage and you're going to acknowledge bad things could happen that could cost you a playoff spot. And I don't think an NFL team will do that. But the Chargers played Bryce Young in week 2, Rob. This felt like that despite the Chargers getting no sacks. Very frustrating. Atlanta getting sacks, weird. Herbert not running, weird. But thank God Kirk Cousins sucks. Like, sucks. And Kyle Pitts is a corpse.
One sack for the Chargers today.
No, let me get, it was Otique, but yeah, we got up the a weird name, Otito, Abugwe. Oh, you got it there?
I don't know. You fucking tell me, man. You're Chargers super fan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's all a blur. Yeah, we got up the. Oh no, it was a fumble. It was a fumble almost on the last drive. It was a forced fumble sack. It was a sack fumble on the Falcons' last drive of the game. That's where it was.
Tito Ogbonnia, your nose tackle there with Pierre Tart. Yeah, they split time. Yeah. I got to tell you. Okay, maybe I'm going to go down narrative street here a little bit because I don't actually buy into this stuff. Cousins sucked today. Kirk Cousins gave away the game. It was one of those games. Remember at the beginning of the season when Callahan said, after like a Will Levis game, he's like, if we just punted on every possession, we would have had a better chance. It almost felt
oh my God. Yeah. Maybe, Rob. Maybe. He was so... I can't believe the Chargers went for that fake punt. I wish it had worked because they'd never done that. And that caught me off guard.
That was very un-Harbaugh like. Very un-Harbaugh like.
Yeah, I don't even. Oh, Atlanta's bad.
Atlanta's how did really Atlanta
bad.
Get 5? How did they get so much pressure today? I don't know what happened to the Chargers today. Honestly, I have no idea what happened.
I have no idea. They were playing 7 on 11 on offense. But I don't know how Atlanta, and I don't know how Herbert could never find a running lane. It was a very confusing, sloppy game that they deserved to lose by 17, 28 points, Rob, literally. And it could have just been like, they played Monday. They had the bye. Now they're in real trouble because the Chiefs, and now they're 8-4, and I don't know, man. They still have the Patriots and the Raiders on their schedules, so I feel like they clinched a playoff spot today unofficially in some ways. So we'll see.
But they're
not.
Kind of with you on that.
But I'm also self-aware enough to know, like, before they, and I'm not saying Atlanta's a good team, but before they played good teams, there was an unknown of like, holy shit, maybe they could hang. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot, people. They are like, they're good enough to be an AFC wildcard team and like one of the back two spots, but they're not I have no delusions with the lack of playmakers that they could actually hang with anyone outside of the first. Like, maybe they could win a game. Harbaugh punch you in the mouth, will catch you off guard. There's no way with this set of playmakers that they could run off 3 straight AFC tournament wins. There's no chance in hell. But I'm proud where the program is. I'll say that. To win a game where Herbert's the fucking worst, that kind of, you never want that to happen, but when it does happen, because I know he's not going to be that bad very often, so it's like, holy shit, like, good on us. Good on us.
We'll pivot off of Chargers radio in 1 second, but before we do, would Jeff be upset to learn Harbaugh is still stealing signals?
No.
Test.
Don't you know something, Kyle? I could see, I've said this to Rob before, I could see in a different life where I am Connor Stallions and I don't get married and I don't have children and I find a way into the program and I say, whatever the fuck you need, I will die. I will let the bus run over me for this, you know? And you see Connor Stallions' mom, how proud she is of him. Like,
he put his mind to it, man.
That's what I mean.
People can take lessons from that guy, man. The fucking
getting on the other team's sidelines to like watch your upcoming opponents, like, it's genius.
I'm kind of jealous a little bit. Like that guy made an impact.
In a different life, I could see myself like being Connor. I care about the Chargers so much, is what I'm trying to say. I could have, if there was an opportunity to be Connor Stallions, I think I'd fucking take it. That's all.
Yep. There you go. This is a really weird question, but I'm kind of interested in answering it. Mary, fuck, kill, Kirk, Will Levis, Derek Carr. I mean, if Kirk is very, like, he seems like he would be a good husband. Like, Kirk is religious.
Great guy, great dad.
Like, he's definitely the mayor. He's definitely the Mary. And then, like, Will Levis, he's got a lot of bad habits. The mayo,
yeah, but he could be a good fuck.
Could be a good fuck.
Could be a fun guy.
Well, Levis could be into some.
Oh, no, a little
shit.
too. Yeah, actually, a little too. You know what? Yeah, you might not need that. Next thing, you're like thinking you're just going to like have sex with the guy, and then he's taking you into like a torture dungeon or something. So yeah, that could be Will Levis. So yeah, but still fuck. Yeah, we're killing Carr. But that was weird. Why was Taysom Hill out so much today?
He probably tore his ACL.
Oh, well, no, that was at the end, but before that.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on, but he was in a lot. I had Taysom Hill over receptions and receiving yards. I was watching. He seemed like he was in the game a lot. Is that just water, or are you drinking?
Yeah, just water, ice cold water. I am parched, Rob.
That was a long afterwards. Like, you fucking
I'm refreshed.
Really enjoyed that water.
Yeah, it hit the spot. I got lucky because I guess my wife thought the Chargers were playing at 4:00 today, so she planned a thing. She took the kids to a friend's house to decorate a Christmas tree. So yeah, after the Chargers game, I just just went for a walk, went to the local dispensary, and just like told the guy, like, I don't usually do this because I don't usually go to those stores. Usually just have things like taken care of for me. But I'm like, just give me a care package. Like, I'm in a good mood. Like, fuck me up good. So we'll see.
Good. Every now and then, good water. A good water. Oh. I got the Ontario cannabis delivery right before the show today. I'm looking forward to that, man. Right after this,
No, but
I
like
can't host at the same time. It's tough.
a good water is great, Rob, but like a Gatorade at the optimal like freezing temperatures is probably the shits. Is probably the goods. Like that Gatorade that they got in that like MLB dugout is probably like the McDonald's Coke version of Gatorade.
Like, it's like the Gatorade that Eager was drinking in the press box today. That blue Gatorade.
Do we have a still of it? Do we have a still of it?
I could probably find. I don't know if I want to share it. You know what? I'm not good with this. Jeff would probably be good at like tier ratings for Gatorade.
No, people wouldn't like my choices. I like classic lemon lime and purple G2. So I don't know how that works for other people, but those would be my go-to. My like Gatorade trick though, it's weird. Like when I'm rocking in a heavy stocking, like a large stash of them, I'll drink half of one, Rob, and then I'll put it in the freezer. So it's half drinking in the freezer. Then it freezes.
Jeff, you're a very interesting cat, man.
Yeah. You got people think they know. People like the thing is, and people think I'm like getting weirder, and what I'll say to them is, I've always been this way. You're just getting to know me better. Like that's that would be my take on that. So you've got so now it's like it's frozen. And then when it's time to like go, like when you want that Gatorade, you take a non-frozen one from the fridge and you fill it up the other half. So there's a frozen ball, right? And then you just there it is.
How did you stumble upon this?
Okay, so I worked
Did someone tell you about this or yeah.
No.
You worked at at your dad's at the factory sweeping the floors.
No, I worked at a summer camp.
Okay.
And like I had my own cabin and it was like really hot. So I do that. I'd also put like t-shirts in the freezer. Like not like you get it's a nice hot day, Rob, and you pull out like a t-shirt after 30 minutes crisping in the freezer. Oh, that shit feels good. That's the good. So yeah, whatever. So yeah, I guess that was just back in the day. The summer, I realized I wanted to just ice my Gatorade. I ended up freezing the Gatorade, and it was half. So then I'm like, you know how we're gonna combat this? We're gonna fill it up, and that's just simple life hacks.
Wow.
I'm not playing it like I'm not just random shit.
A week right here, man. This is what was this camp for? Was it like when Ernest goes to camp? That type of situation?
No, it was a great summer camp. I even went there as a camper. And unfortunately, how do you put this? I'm not going to name it, but in recent years, like it's all under new ownership. It was it like got a lot of lawsuits and scrutiny like long after I was there, but I'm like well aware of the culture of just being like a sexual harassment like paradise. But it was good, Rob. You know, you see your first pair at summer camp, and it's it's good times. Good times.
Yeah, pair of what? Pair of what?
Yeah, boobs, not testicles.
Jason, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I'm just asking. Pair could be multiple things.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Camp Tiger Claw.
Oh man, Tiger Claw.
No, if those that was a joke from what movie is that?
I don't know what Tiger Claw's from. Crystal Lake is Jason.
Oh. No, Tiger Claw's from a comedy, like Wet Hot.
Well,
American
Jason drowns in Crystal Lake because the camp counselors are fucking around with each other. They're having filthy sex.
Rob, I don't know if it's coming up tomorrow because it's kind of late, and sometimes the wire is earlier. We're like an old school like newspaper, like there's only so much we can react to, because we go to print, which is like that's not even a complaint. I got buzzed up a bit today that Caruso's up to his plagiarism ways. Heavy today.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, stealing from our boy Noonan. I got the proof. I don't know if you want me to send it
Wow.
along, but
Yeah, because I already finished the rundown for Circle Back tomorrow, but like maybe it could maybe make its way in. Although, like, I feel like it's just going to be the same shit every week with that guy. Like, that guy's just is a cuck. stealing
yeah, no,
people's
he
money.
is a okay. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious, right? It's like obvious, like you're a serial cheater. Like if I got caught on a test in high school, like I think my teachers knew that like that wasn't the first time Fienberg was cheating on the test. Like it's probably like a serial test cheater. You know, so like
Did you have any unique ways of cheating? I had a
no,
few.
I wasn't good. Especially math, because you know, math was a hard one because you had to show the work. You couldn't just come up with the answer.
Yeah. Yeah. But math,
I
as
would
long as you knew you got to remember the formulas, man. So that's really the
I guess
crux of it. I used to wear a dark Yankees hat in university. Here's secrets from Pizzola coming out right now.
yeah,
But for my math classes,
yeah,
I used to write on the brim of the hat because they used to allow, and I would write it in black pen, so you could really not tell unless you looked closely enough. That was a classic Pizzola move. I'm not proud of it, but 4th and 2 here, by the way, for the Bills. I need them to convert this if they are actually going to go.
Well, how big are your alt lines?
Up to 21.5. Yes. Bakir wide open. Go. Now, if we could get a Ray Davis Ray Davis touchdown would be nice. So that right now it would be last touchdown would be Ray Davis. That would be incredible, actually. Incredible. I wonder what the 49ers are going to be lined as against Caleb Williams and the Bears next week, because the 49ers are ass. Straight anus right now.
If you had to like just throw out a number, the first number that comes to your head.
Where's the game
to play? But
it's in San Fran, and it's in San Fran. Sorry, Santa Clara.
What?
Oh, what is that?
What?
Hello!
What?
Oh my God! What play? What just happened?
Was that intentional? Was that?
They got to get Josh Allen. They got to get Josh Allen the MVP. I honestly, that was amazing.
What?
That was amazing.
I have Allen MVP. Sick. I looked at it today. October 21st, 5-1. I didn't care.
Oh, yeah, whatever. It's good.
Was that the design to play?
Yo, Zach. Put that Zach message up.
Amari Cooper, what a fucking play.
No chance. Okay? No chance. Like, yeah,
I thought you wanted to put it up so you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I'll join next weekend. No chance. Tell Zach there's no fucking way I'm doing the show next Sunday. Did that go in? Yeah, it went in. Thought it hit the upright.
Wait, that counts as a passing touchdown for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
unreal. That's hilarious. It's a 4-yard pass to Amari Cooper, and
so it'll be a pass to Amari Cooper. Pass to Amari Cooper.
It is a touchdown pass for Allen. It is.
I have his over 1.5 touchdown passes. I was like, that's
amazing,
happening.
Man.
That's an unreal.
That's amazing. Unreal.
I didn't realize that. Anyways.
Oh man, wow! I should have played more Knox receiving yards instead of receptions. Damn. Oh well. What are you gonna do? Such is life. I got lots of stuff in play right now. Like this could be a big one. This could be a big one.
I don't even think I think it's a definitive gap between Allen and second place. You also consider that the voters really do want to give it to him. I'm dumb enough to believe that.
I think there's a big gap. I do, though, think that the Barkley stuff is real.
Fuck that.
Voters would vote for Barkley. They would.
Okay. Tua deserves it more than Barkley.
I'm not arguing you that.
You want to know something? Yeah. There should be an in-season comeback player. No. Tua should win comeback player of the year. Like, he died. People told him to retire, Rob, in October or September. And I know
is he in the market? Is he listed in the market?
I'm not even sure, but if he is, let's bet it.
Because I'll bet it. Just give me some time tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay,
and then
talk to me.
We'll get the movement started. You know how
But
like a bunch of
doesn't
these
that
guys
make
like
sense?
failed NFTs for years. Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense? Like they told him, the media woke up the next morning and said, this guy can't ever play again. We can't let him for his own good. We as a society shouldn't let him play again.
Making alts great again.
Oh my God. Well, Pat put me in the pretzel on Thursday because I had an alt line parlay, and then he picked that on me, so we called it the alt right parlay. And it was so good, but it only lost because fucking CeeDee Lamb left the game. It's the only thing that lost. Left the game.
It's tough break, man. Happens.
Yeah, I guess Tua might not be allowed to win, but
was not able to win past year. Well, so much for that idea. At least I don't have to go out and find the best price after the show today.
I don't even think he's available. But I do think DeMar Hamlin should be allowed multi-year eligibility. But when I made that joke in like September, he wasn't even listed, and now he's like 30 or 40 to 1.
Right now, who's comeback player of the year right now? I don't even look at this market.
It's gonna be Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow.
I know.
And
he's gonna be,
Joe Burrow
4-8 right now.
Yeah, so what? J.K. Dobbins is hurt. He's not even good. Like relative to his ADP, he was good, but like he's not actually like running back good. Kirk Cousins is the fucking worst.
Rodgers has no hope.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know.
They're going to give it to Burrow. Burrow's already won comeback player of the year? And after his rookie year?
I guess
they went to the Super Bowl, right? In his second year.
Nick Chubb. Chubb came back from a devastating... Russell wasn't hurt last year, so he can't...
I'm sorry if you got my slurping there. I'm struggling. Chubb. I don't even remember who else is eligible. Does anyone have cancer? Like, is there some low-hanging fruit who could get it? Like if Foster Moreau was a year ago?
Mechie had it a year ago. I don't know. But I don't think either of those guys are good enough to like have had a
I agree, Devs. I agree. Matt Ariza, the punt god.
Oh, the punter. Well, he's coming back from scandal.
Canceled? Yeah.
Well, he was listen. He was I mean, like now that the evidence out, I could be wrong because maybe I've only caught the pieces of the story.
I believe he was railroaded. I believe.
Yeah, he was railroaded.
I don't know for sure, but I believe.
I'm so mad that he's on the Chiefs because I want to cheer for him. I wish he was still on the Bills.
Oh, what about Darnold? No, Darnold's just coming back from sucking. We talked.
No,
about
Darnold's not allowed anymore. George,
he's not allowed. He's yeah. Was Herbert hurt last year?
Yeah, he was. That's the thing. Like he hurt a finger in December, right? And they sat him the last month. Like they really gonna count that as an injury, like a finger?
Well, I mean, if we start the movement, Jeff, we can do it. I mean, right now it's Burrow by a mile, right? I don't see anyone else that it could be. Okay, 4th down for the 49ers. I'm assuming that they're going to go for it here. I'm just making the assumption. Wouldn't put it past Shannon to put. You look like you're struggling, Jeff. You all right, man? You doing okay? You need another glass of water? You can go get another glass of water if you need it.
No, the cup's big. It's still rocking here. I was just trying to find next week's game. I don't even remember who plays Thursday.
It's Packers and Lions. It's a good one.
Oh, that's a beauty.
That's a beauty. Oh, damn.
Where is it?
And a lot of yards. It's in Detroit.
But wait, this is Mason territory, even though it might mess with
I could deal. I don't even know what I see. This is a challenge I have when I bet games like this. I don't know what to root for. I don't actually know. Yeah, Mason touch. I mean, if the San Fran's going to score, you might as well make it a Mason touchdown or I don't think we're
and then hopefully go for 2 and they miss. So you can. I think you'll still be able to cash 21.5 if they. I doubt they do.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate a Mason touchdown if we could
Jason,
get Guerrero in the game.
You buy yourself anything for Black Friday? Any OnlyFans subscriptions go on sale? What'd you score there, buddy?
I actually bought a table for myself.
Okay, good.
Table and a bench.
A bench and a table?
Yeah.
You know, I actually, it's weird. Black Friday, like, I tried to find things I wanted to buy, but I
spent
couldn't.
like roughly $8,000 to $10,000 on Black Friday.
On what? Oh, you just moved.
Right.
Yeah, if I just,
I'm
you're
moving,
moving.
yeah.
Oh,
New
yeah, if I was
couches,
moving.
New TVs, new sound systems.
Yeah. It's good for like normal. It's good for like normal shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
People calling you out for buying a cuck bench.
Guernado. Wow. That's maybe.
Is he in? He's in.
He's
in. That's got to be really good no matter what. That is huge.
Yeah.
Enormous.
Well, yeah, anytime
Guardado. Now, Guerrero, yeah.
We need
Jason
go for 2. Go for 2 and miss. Go for 2 and miss. Go for 2 and miss. Go for 2 and miss.
Sure, I'll take that too. This is huge. End the game. End it. Stop.
Oh, last
touchdown.
TD, Guardo. Eddie Guardo, last TD.
Rob has last
How many different ways are we going to say this guy's name that are incorrect?
I don't care. I'm not even trying to say it correct. You're Guardo. You're Eddie Guardo. Guardado or Guerrero or Guardito, whatever. I mean, no disrespect.
Guantanamo.
Stop the
What
fight.
were his
Stop
odds for last touchdown?
Let's see what I got. I got some bangers here.
Did you play it solo? I still have it. I have it parlayed with. Alts.
I do. I have it solo. I have so many things tracked here on BetStamp right now that I have to go through line by line. I have about 1 million NBA props as well. So, let's see what I got here.
If we can get,
I played him anytime touchdown at 35 to 1, and I played him last
35
touchdown
to 1.
Yes.
Wow.
I talked about it before the game. I talked about it on this stream before the game.
Congrats to you and the listeners.
Yeah, J-Rod got a good.
You got to tune in. You got to tune in before, Jeff.
I'm holding a 130 to 1 on last TD for Isaac Guerrero.
At 8:00, I'm like giving children baths on Sunday night, Jason. So I'm just putting that out there.
Your kids, right? Not other people's.
Well, I don't know about these camp
to be
stories
fair.
are real sick. So
Yeah,
I don't know where Jason's going with this one, but it seems like it took a 90-degree turn real quick here. I don't even know how to respond. Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if that you respond to something like that.
I basically just called you like what Simon Hunter called me, but he just didn't say the word out loud.
Okay, I obviously don't.
Honestly, let's get hashtag cancel Jason going.
I feel like I'm already canceled.
Yeah, but you just don't care about being canceled. You just uncancel yourself.
Yeah.
Would you get
maybe I deserve like a 1-week suspension or something.
Would you get canceled for?
I don't know.
Sure, you're right. You don't have
sure we
to.
could
I
cancel
guess I bring it up.
I'm sure we could cancel you for something.
Rob, is tomorrow a loaded docket?
I could tell you the you know like what the our board, like how we basically like ripped off PTI.
Yeah.
Like we have our agenda. Our agenda for tomorrow is cash out controversy, surviving Circa, Schefter's demise, Spanky conspiracy, faking their record, weather matters, Twitter efficiency, and we made a mistake. Those are the topics for tomorrow at a high level.
Even though with Elon's new Twitter, I can see that I blocked accounts, but did anyone know if Taylor got off the mat after her winless Thanksgiving? How on earth? Shocked.
I hear. I don't want to include it because like I don't want to just like turn.
Okay, fine. Then you know what? I think we need to do something, Rob, because I mean it. I mean this.
You tell me. Talk to me because I have a take on this as well. And
I think
just, like,
we should push for. We should push as a show for her to get in the SI swim thing. Like, I don't even care if she actually does it, but like as a show, I think it'd be good. Like, okay, yeah, we'll push it. Maybe a hashtag. That'll be good. That'll be good. She's mad at me. I think she's upset with me. I think that if I condone or I give a push, that'll be fine. I do just have one like issue. Get the fuck out of here. What's he talking about? Are you kidding? Get this out of here. I'll address this.
You said it. You almost said it. You almost said his tagline unintentionally. The guy compared you to GRP and you said, "Are you kidding?" And you stopped yourself. That's his line.
I don't even know. It doesn't even warrant a response other than I have 2 daughters. I am married.
Well, you don't take care of your mother?
I think women are great and they are very smart and can run companies and can do anything. I do not hate women. I love women. I love women. I think women are great. I think there's women in the space who are excellent. Cynthia Friedland being one of them, and George's like attack on her was disgusting. There's a lot of smart women in the space. That being said, Rob, I'm allowed to draw a line. Like, you're allowed to, what's the way I'm supposed to put this? I'm allowed to have an affinity and a great deal of respect for a lot of women in the space. Well, hear me out. Simultaneously, I'm also, if you are using your tits and your midriff and your ass, to sell yourself, I don't have to treat you like you sell fucking insurance. I don't have to treat you like you sell insurance. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, no. So there is nuance to these streets. And you can clip that, Jason.
Well, he's not going to do that. That's extra work for him after the show. That's not going to be clipped. Instead, he's just going to clip the conversation talking about how Derek Carr might be a good lay or Will Levis might be a bad lay,
Two things can be true at the same time. Like, I can have a great deal of respect for women and think that they can run any company in the world, while simultaneously, I am not going to treat someone, selling her tits on the internet with fake pics like an insurance salesman. Like, I'm not going to give that. Why do I need to give that a level of respect? Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yep. I'm with you, man. This has been an all-timer. Listen, my whole take is
I'm there.
It's just gonna.
If she also, maybe
it's tough to navigate this type of show because you gotta try not to make it stale. And I think that if we were to include something like that every week, it's just gonna be the same conversation. I want to ask you a serious question though, okay? Because I see that she gets very down on herself on like the losing days, and she's like, "I'm sorry for all of you who tailed and whatever." And like, there's people who respond and like, no, don't worry about it. Get back up. Like, grind it a little harder, get in the lab, all that kind of stuff. Do people actually tail these picks? Are there people who exist that like when Taylor Mathis puts out a walking bets pick clip, are people actually tailing this? Because in my mind, I think to myself, there's no possible way. Because she gets really down on herself. She's like, oh, like she gets upset.
No, she's not costing anyone money.
That's what I'm thinking. But like, I don't want to say that. I feel like messaging her on the side and being like, you don't have to worry about this. Like, no one's betting this stuff. So why are you so upset with yourself? Like, who is betting this stuff? There's no vig attached to any of these games. There's no prices. It's fucking fiction. It's a La La Land place.
Yeah, I agree. And like, if there is actually someone tailing, I mean, I don't care to unit shame. I'm not even unit shaming, but it's like of a denomination that I probably would deem like pretty irrelevant.
Yeah.
I don't think she's costing anyone anything.
I honestly thought this. I thought to myself, when she posted that thing of like, I got swept on Thanksgiving, I'm sorry, I can't hit a play. I thought to myself, I'm like, this is great for your brand. Like, more people are probably fading those picks than actually playing them. I don't mean to be an asshole. I'm just living in reality. People are not like tailing fucking Book It Trent. When he has like a reverse sweep day, everyone's happy. There's people in the space that's what they've become. That's what I felt about that situation. So I don't know why she's upset, like, oh, I can't win a play or whatever. I was like, who cares? That no one cares about the plays. Literally, no one cares about the plays. It could be walking anything. It could be walking thoughts, walking bets, walking psalms, walking advice. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. The walking is what people care about.
And my like best friends, like my most human interaction in the world, Mark, does not come from the dude who runs the poker room at a casino. Like, I'm not buying that person Christmas presents. Because I've like, despite like, I know I can play around on this internet thing, but I am lucky. Like yesterday, you know what the greatest thing to do, Rob, when you spend too much time yelling at someone on the internet? And that's probably my turn's over. So I was getting into it with a golf reporter yesterday who pretty much was saying like I'm soulless because I don't have sympathy for Jay Monahan because I believe in the summer of 23 after using 9/11 families as a business shield and being bad at his job. He had panic attacks caused by being bad at his job, still getting fully compensated, blah, 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 blah. I don't need to have blah, blah, blah. So we got into it back and forth. And then like I was going at it with this guy. And then my buddy writes me like, we're going to have some people over tonight, like come by. And the greatest relief in the world when you're like fighting with someone who you've never met on the internet and your real life friends are like, yo, bro, like I'm going to hang tonight. Like come hang. It's like, oh my God, thank you. Like, I'm going to get off the internet now and go hang with real people.
Yep.
Thank you for that text. Like, it's amazing. It is amazing.
I'm going to go back to the real world for a second here. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it all the time. But anyways, you were in fine form tonight. I'll see you tomorrow for recording.
Yeah, see you in the morning. Later.
All right, Jeff. Take care. Geoff Fienberg, everyone. Holy fuck, was he on one tonight. Amazing. Great stuff. It's the fourth quarter, Sunday night. Means Austin Mock is here to wrap it up with me. Austin, how are things?
Rob, thanks. So it's good. This game's a little bit of a blowout, but it was an entertaining NFL Sunday, so no complaints from me.
Yep. I will also say that betting does, the beauty of betting is that even in a blowout like this, I'm rooting for. Is that a fumble? Tell me that's a fumble. That come out of his hand? Or they can call that incomplete. I have all sorts of alternate stuff here with Buffalo. I also right now have Gorendo last touchdown, 130-1. So if that ended right now, that would be fantastic. I have Bills alternate lines parlayed with Gorendo last touchdown. Like we're talking about.
Oh baby! Let's have a night here.
We're talking. Yeah. I mean, like Lyman says the same thing. I have 150 and 250 SP. This is I kind of just like wish it would just end right now. I like the Bills just recovered this fumble, and it's like but it's one of those
field goals are not really a thing either. That's the tough part to sweat that last touchdown too.
I know. I know. You got anything going in this game?
I have some Bills. So that's going fun. I did have a little bit of a panic when Gorendo scored because that's the natural like pessimist in me is like, okay, here we go. It's gonna get a little funky
dicey
in the snow. Yeah, right. But
Well,
feeling good.
This happened to me last week when I had Green Bay alts against San Fran. It was 17-0 Green Bay. They were rolling. San Fran scored before the half, 17-7. I'm like, oh, here we go. But like, I don't know, it's just how we're wired, man. It's how we're wired as bettors, just to expect the worst.
You just always remember the ones that don't go your way. So, like, it's honestly, we've talked about this before. It's like the fourth down decisions that work out. Nobody ever really talks about them. It's only the ones that don't. Like, that's what we do. We can't listen to our own advice when it comes to because like if you win one, like you win this easily, like you'll remember the parlay. But like if you win some alternate lines, like no one really, you don't remember that. But like you'll never forget that Bears Commanders Hail Mary.
Oh man.
Like I'm sure you could rattle off 10
until now.
You could probably rattle off 10 bad beats in your life pretty quickly. Like all timers. And the winners you don't remember.
You're right. I could definitely remember more bad beats, but I'm also losing like my mind. I gotta, if anyone has some way for me to regain memory, I need it. It's bad. I can't remember stuff from like 2 years ago now. I'm only 37 years old. It's not supposed to be happening. I need some sort of like mental brain stimulation where I could start to remember things, because it's all a blur. Until someone reminds me of something, I completely forget about it.
Yeah, the bad beats always they deep
Knox
in the brain.
Yep. I need another Dawson Knox catch. If there's going to be a tutter, it's got to be Dawson Knox. How about that?
What about Davis or
yeah,
Johnson?
I guess we could do Davis. We could do Davis or Johnson as well. Yeah. I guess technically I would just want a 1 yard pass to Dawson Knox here if possible, not to get in the end zone. I just need another Dawson Knox reception.
That's asking for a lot here. I think that's asking for.
Could the Bills, you think, milk 13 minutes and clock here and then kneel on the ball, or what?
This is like
just throw the Dawson.
Go ahead.
Throw to Dawson Knox and have him just lateral the ball to Josh Allen.
Lateral the ball. Oh, that'd be amazing. What a play that was. That was definitely not scripted, right? That was just instinctual by Cooper.
I think it was instinctual by both, because I think you have to give Allen credit for like running over there. Like, I don't know if he was going to like push the pile or whatnot, but I definitely think that was just like instincts on both sides to like kind of gravitate towards the ball if you're Josh Allen, and to also like not quit and keep your eyes up.
Yep.
I think the lateral is underrated or like undervalued.
I
like
love
it's
that play.
super risky, but like that, like, and you know who only does it, and it feels like they probably shouldn't, is that it's probably overvalued on like interception returns. Like I feel like those ones are a little unfortunate.
Wow, Allen in the end zone.
Buzzkill.
That's horrible. The primetime MVP, baby.
Horrible.
I know. What are you gonna do? I do say like I'm gonna stop saying with like I think I have this, I think I have that, because it's actually sounding more ridiculous now. But I do think that I have some 2+ touchdown Allen stuff. Anyways, it's gonna be a night. It's gonna be a night. I lost my train of thought. Completely lost my train of thought.
We're talking about the laterals. I said the lateral is undervalued, but when on interception returns, I think it's like a bad idea a lot of the time.
Bad.
They're out of control.
but where that lateral should be used more is in late game situations to get out of bounds. Where you run like the 15-yard curl over the middle, and you just have the crosser take the lateral and get out of bounds. The Lions do that. I've seen the Lions do it 2 or 3 times this year. Way smarter than every other team in the league for the most part. But yeah,
the Chiefs did that, but like if the Chiefs kind of started it, but it felt more like we're having a good time out here. Like the Lions, the Lions are having a good time doing a lot of it. Like, the Sewell attempted touchdown pass. But they have like a calculated lateral, like they set aside practice time to figure out the best ways to do that.
Yeah. I'm getting roasted in the chat for laugh out loud, a billion bets some have to win. Can't lose if you bet everything. Guys, I did the entire first 10 minutes of this show today talking about this. and all the iterations of stuff that I would put with the Bills to win on alternate spreads. They're all in play. All of them. Jordan Mason, Gorendo, Ray Davis. I don't know that I mentioned the Josh Allen 2+. I don't want to, but these are all in play. The McCaffrey stuff all lost, obviously, because he got injured, the multiple receptions. It was talked about. These are the games I love. I want games like this. I want as many games like this where fucking a quarterback has a throwing arm injury in a snowstorm. Like, that's what I want. Yeah. That's how I want to bet. Love that stuff. Love that stuff. I didn't really have a good day today, so this would be really nice.
Yeah.
This would be really nice.
No, you can't complain about those parlays got to be like 250 to 1.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. I'm gonna just wait till the game is done now. Now I'm already in the mode where I started like scrolling through. Jeff was telling like these 7-minute long stories, and I was scrolling through the account. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. I also got some NBA stuff going on. Wouldn't mind if Malik Monk picked up the pace a little bit.
So a little cross sport action there.
That's it, man.
That's what I do with 35-10, you know?
Well, so I've told this story before, but if I don't have a good early slate in NFL, which I didn't today, if I'm like losing, I won't chase the losses. I'm not like a believer in chasing losses, but I will work harder for the rest of the day to find edges. So I'm checking, I'm losing, like it's like 4:30. I'm like, okay, we got a bunch of NBA games starting at 6, at 7. I'll just go bet those props. Find some edges. There we go. Monk has 16. I got points plus assists over 19.5. That's what I need from Malik Monk. That's what I need. But that's life, man. That's life.
I feel like I've brought it up to you every week that I've been on, but I think I'm finally, and this will be funny because they'll probably start losing. I think I might be turning into the Steelers might be like, I don't think they can win like the Super Bowl, but they're going to be annoying as hell in the AFC. Definitely if they get a home game.
I'm kind of shifting that way too. But you know what? By the way, fumbled on the kickoff here for San Fran. Buffalo recovered a fumble.
Massive. So. This is massive for us again. Massive for
Huge.
us again. Get one of the
Get fucking Ray Davis in this game.
Get
Ray Davis to some work. Ray needs the ball. Again, see, like my memory's gone. We were just saying something 2 minutes before this happened. I can't concentrate. Steelers. This is how I feel like as soon as I finally give the Steelers credit, I feel like they're going to come crashing down to earth.
Yeah. I was not one of those people I was pro Russell Wilson when he got healthy because of the downfield threat. And like, that's changed everything. Like Fields had a little bit of it, but like down the field over the middle, they are I said it in our group chat earlier today. They are the 2019 Vrabel Titans with Derrick Henry. Like they have this strong running game and they'll take their shots downfield and if Russ doesn't take too many sacks and doesn't turn the ball over, like they'll move the ball. Yeah. Like, and Pickens is good enough to be that kind of like high ceiling type player. You know, he needs to figure out the penalties a little bit, but like they're going to be a pain in the butt for somebody, definitely if they get a home game.
Yep. Agreed. I'm not going to say I had Allen 3+ touchdowns because I don't, Sammy. I'm just going to level with you now. If Allen scores again, it's not adding anything to me. In fact, I don't want that to happen. I was talking to Clive about this in the first quarter, Austin, but the real challenge with the Steelers that I personally find, and to like a lesser extent, maybe some shittier teams like the Titans, is that when you're modeling sports, you're trying to strip out as much previous luck as possible, right? Like you're going through all of this data and you're trying to say, this is what I attribute as being luck. And you're trying to take that out. But with the Steelers, it's gotten to the point where it feels very repeatable for them on a week. Like you watch the game and you're like, wow, this is like a big third down play. That's really important. TJ Watt's going to force a fumble. And like it fucking forces a fumble. Like
Watt is the most clutch defensive player maybe of all time. Like he could be non-existent for like 3.5 quarters. And then it's like they're up 2 in like the other team's driving on the 40 with like a minute 30 left, and then boom, he gets off the line like untouched, sacks the quarterback and recovers the fumble. Like he does have that, but I don't know. I kind of equate it to like we're so easy to say that like Eberflus was what 5-19 in 1-score games in his Bears career. Like,
Yep.
I just think it's coaching, like whatever you want to, like it's these hard things that are you can't really model. But I kind of like we always talk about like Mahomes and Brady. They've always like overachieved according to like market. Like they've had incredible against the spread runs. Right. And I feel like it's a little bit of that with like these well-coached teams where this luck, they kind of coach luck into it, where like Eberflus and like Brandon Staley didn't have that well-rounded coaching, whatever, or something. I don't actually know what it is, but it seems like these better coached teams like have that luck. And there's not a lot of them, but like the Patriots had a lot of good luck. The Chiefs have a lot of luck. Like, I don't know. It's not the luck in that like the Raiders snap the ball off when O'Connell's not looking, right? Like it's more of you're like executing in big moments. They know how to do it, and I don't know. Coaching seems like a part of that.
I'm with you. It's taken a while. I might just have to. There's teams where I just have to cross out the game, like the Jets, right?
I'm with you. It was there the whole game.
It was there. I mean,
though.
Rodgers fucking misses Garrett Wilson wide open for, and then throws a pick six the next. You cannot make this stuff up. You
and
cannot
the pick
make it
six, like it wasn't.
Oh.
It was tipped, but
Trubisky's in at quarterback, by the way. I only mention that because AJ Thomas here in the chat needs Allen under passing and minus 13.5 for a 400-1, which would be
Ray Davis spotting.
Yeah. Ray Davis is in there. Oh man. Come on, Ray. Oh man. Oh,
yeah, that Rodgers one was I saw someone tweet like I can't remember who it was, but it was like it's so hard to get like to create 7 yards of separation inside the 10 or inside the 15 or whatever it was. But Garrett Wilson did it and Rodgers threw it like 5 yards out of bounds. And then he just I don't know what he saw on the next play. Like that was God. Yeah, I'm with you. There's some teams are just like they're not winners. Like I feel like usually if you're modeling sports, you're not supposed to talk like that. But like 5 years ago, I probably don't have this in me as much. But some like it's a coaching thing. Like I don't know, coaching culture, whatever you want to call it. It's real for sure.
Yep, I'm with you. Just came up in a side chat, and I forgot about this today. Justin Tucker missed a couple more field goals and an extra point. Can you take a $7.5 million dead cap hit for a kicker at this point?
Listen, you know what you do? I think you got to get him on IR, like a toe injury or something. You know, he has the like you I don't know what it is. Like he has fallen off a cliff, like literal. There was no decline. It was just like, hey, this is like he was one of the best the best kicker in the league for however long. Like maybe he was still in the conversation, like top 2-3, and now it's like this guy's below replacement level. They can't go forward with him.
It's just such a mental thing, right? For some of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't fucking know what they do.
It's like it was like it's not as exaggerated, but like these mental things that happen, like Giannis in the playoffs a few years ago with the free throws. I think funny enough, that was the year they won it, but I think the year after he struggled too. Always remember like John Lester wouldn't throw over to first base because he like got the yips and then he like finally picked someone off because they like took it too far. But like the kickers, it's such a short shelf life in that like there's only 32 spots. And if he doesn't get it, Chuck Knobloch, it's mental's there. Like, and he doesn't have it. These kicks that I remember somebody said like next gen stats back like a couple years ago. He had like the shortest distance in his kicks from the middle of the uprights, like by a landslide. Like it wasn't
even close. I remember that.
Like he was just splitting uprights, and now it's like he can't even sneak him in. It's that's a real that's a problem. Underrated aspect of like special teams. We always take it for granted. Because that changed the game today. That really hurt them.
I for a second there, that was a Mitch Trubisky designed run. Went for nothing. They're going to try a kick here. That's very interesting. I guess what is it? 47, 48 yards. I don't know that I would do that.
Oof.
It's only a 4th and 9.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the wind? Is it still going? Yeah, I missed.
It doesn't like I'm watching the snowfall, right? And it does seem like it's coming down mostly.
Yeah, it's not. You can see it. Yeah, it's not like straight lines across your screen here.
Yeah. Well, fuck, that would have been nice, man. That would have been nice.
What's your highest alt?
21.5 minus 21.5.
Okay.
It's the exact same as Green Bay, San Fran. I will say, I did think that there was a chance last night or yesterday for about an hour that Purdy might miss the game. And then Schefter tweeted that he was going to play.
Yeah.
So I kind of put them in under the pretense of like, okay, he might not play. But then I was just thinking to myself today, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's,
the quarterback's not practicing definitely matters a little. I don't know how much. Definitely if it's injury, like throwing, like, because you know that they're probably not at 100% coming back. Like it's different. Like Trevor Lawrence, I know he got hurt again today, but his was a non-throwing shoulder. Like,
right,
it didn't even stop him from running.
No, that's just one of those where you want to try to not take a hit, basically.
Yeah,
right.
And
if you have a chance to go out of bounds or to slide, you slide. Yeah. You don't take a big hit. That's very
which he
throwing
tried to
shoulders. He did. I know. He fucking tried. Fucking Al-Shire just wrecked him.
I don't even know.
It really bothers me. It honestly does really bother me. It's such a classless.
Yeah.
It's just like a complete lack of respect for another. It's not to say that stuff hasn't happened before, and definitely like the way that Lawrence kind of went out right away makes it worse. But it's just so stupid, man. It's just a really dumb fucking play.
And again, like this like might be unfair, but like if it's the fourth quarter and it's like at the end zone, even though they would dive head first, but like I don't know, 4th down late in the game, I have a little bit of sympathy for you. Maybe because like that was not anywhere close to like a do or die play. So
right,
yeah, that was that's going to be a suspension, I would imagine, because that hit hasn't been legal for like I don't know ever. Like when's the slide protection rule put in? Like
that has to be a suspension. I'm with you. Like it's not. It has to be. That's not a fine. A hit that comes with a fine.
And he was trying to fight people afterwards. Like, you're going to get jumped for that. That's normal, like football banter. But like even beyond that, he was like going after people. You could honestly see how disappointed D'Amico Ryans was too. Yeah, like he was just like you could see in his face that he was just like fucking dude, get out.
Yeah, it was like talking to a kid. Yeah, exactly.
It was like did you see that on Thanksgiving, the Antoine Randall L and Jameson Williams? When Jameson Williams,
I did see that. I did see that. Fucking hilarious.
The reason you brought that up, I saw someone like tweeted like, that Antoine Randall L is a dad because he's made like any dad knows that he's made this face with his kids. Like it was like, come on, like you know better than to throw the ball at someone.
Yep. 49ers have there it is. The 49ers have basically given up on this too. It looks like they're just content to run some clock here. Which I mean, if you played the total in this game, it's interesting. It depends on the time that you played.
Well, I was gonna say it depends. Yeah. Late in the week.
I see a lot of people that want me to play the guitar in here, but it's not gonna happen right now. It's not gonna. I mean, this would be the game for it, but whatever. Another time. We'll do it another time. We'll do it another time.
See you rocking the Penn State gear.
Yeah, I know.
Had some people text me that you jumping off the Ohio State bandwagon for the Penn State bandwagon here. Like,
no, it's not. Well, I'm like an Ohio State fan. Like, there's a lot of Pizzolas in Columbus, so it's always been the team that but like I don't care. I actually kind of found it funny, like watching them lose. Like Ryan Day is a complete moron. A complete moron.
He got the issue that he has. You want to talk about like mental, like coaching aspect that we were talking about earlier. He got bullied by Michigan.
One second, Austin. I'm just gonna.
Good.
This is a punt return touchdown for Buffalo. There's a flag though.
Flag.
Who's the punt returner for Buffalo? Brandon Codrington.
I don't even think he was listed.
Who had it?
I'm even kidding.
There's no way that guy was. If he was listed for a touchdown, I definitely overlooked it. He was. Let's see. Brandon Codrington was only listed at the Entane books for at 40-1. Nowhere near what I would have played him at.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's coming back anyways. It's coming back.
Yeah, Ryan Day. He just got bullied one time, and he wants to try to run the ball consistently over and over, and that was that. That was the game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And a kicker, special teams.
Mike's asking me so I'm looking through my accounts right now. I saw this question like 5 minutes ago. It looks like I actually didn't play to 21.5. I played to 18.5. I don't know why I did that, or maybe I just didn't log. But at minus 18.5, I got plus 440 on that. Just in curiosity out of what those ended up paying. Thought I played higher than that. Maybe I'm just getting confused with last week. I was also pretty sauced last night. I'm not going to lie. Pretty sauced with the boys. Got a random message. It's like, hey, Brock, maybe he's not looking so good for tomorrow. An hour later, Schefter tweets that he's in. Beautiful. Great stuff.
So it's always how it works. The Schefter coming in at like Saturday night at midnight always cracks me. Like, I guess it was a little earlier than that, I think, but he always has those late night Saturday. It's funny that the timing of those come in.
What did you think of the planting the flag at midfield?
All right, listen. This is just typical college football rivalry, like shenanigans. Someone like Texas did this to Michigan earlier in the year. Oklahoma did it to Ohio State. Michigan did it to Ohio State the last time they played. I just, I think it's one of those things where, like, it's just normal. Like, I don't want to say like football stuff. Like it's the rivalry's getting out of hand. I'm like, dude, there were like brawls 30 years ago in this game. Like, it's now obviously that turned into a brawl and pepper spray and stuff. But like, I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. Like Ohio State was like kind of off the field. They like came back on. I don't know. I don't like. I think that's normal rivalry. Like, I don't believe in like you have this huge. You're gonna make out this huge game and like you guys hate each other, and then like what? You're just supposed to walk off the field after the game? I don't know.
I mean, Drunken Goon says Dion did it on the Star in Dallas. It was Terrell Owens that ran to midfield, and then he got smoked by a Cowboys player in a very similar fashion. I rarely agree with Knish on anything. I thought he actually had the most rational take. It's like, let the Michigan guys do that and let the Ohio State guys like defend their home field. Like, whatever. Like, it's.
Yeah. Like, I know, like, you hope it doesn't get to that, like to a fight, like I always say, like before games, you get the jawing. Like NFL has guys that get in like kind of scrum. Like the Texas A&M game had a scrum between staffers, like non-players, non-coaches before the game. Like it's just, I don't know, when you bring like that much testosterone, like the competition, it's whatever. Like, do you want it to become a fight? Obviously not. To where like maybe somebody's like on the ground getting like stomped on. No, you don't want that. But yeah, it's whatever. Like you can't like I saw someone say like Fox, they were doing the game, like you can't have this like rivalry, life and death, and then be like, oh, they planted a flag. Like, how classless. Like, you're over here talking about the winning this game is life and death. So,
Also,
yeah, it's whatever.
another thing that I hate. So, Gus Johnson is washed as a commentator.
Oh.
Outside of that, but by the way, like his voice cracking while he was calling I found hilarious. But regardless, my point is this: I hate when the play-by-play announcer inserts their opinion. It's like when Joe Buck said that is a disgusting act by Randy Moss when he fake mooned the fans at Lambeau. Yeah. It's like, no, it wasn't. It was a fucking joke. Like, and the same, like, it was the same with Gus Johnson. He acted like it was like this fucking tragedy that like football's not going to come back for. It was horrible. I hated it.
Yeah, I'll say like the pepper spray like probably made it worse than it was. And like, I'm not going to say they didn't need to do that or whatever, but like, I don't think this wasn't like Malice in the Palace stuff, like going into the stands. Like that's, or like, what was it, like Miami, like Florida International at a game where like people were like, players were hitting each other with helmets. Like, okay, that like, maybe that was, I don't know. That was a normal, they had a, like a skirmish during the game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people, I don't know. I'm with you. You can't tout up these rivalry games and not expect a little bit of overflow.
Yeah. Jeffrey the Giraffe asks, is Knox going to hit the inverse correlation parlay? As of now, he is. He's under 2.5. You play him 50 plus yards, he would be hitting it right now, as of this moment in time. That's not saying. I honestly do agree. I was kind of shocked at like the pepper spray. It's riot control, but like it is what it is. I mean,
yeah. I think one of the things you also have to understand is like the player for the police in that situation, the players have like pads on, and these are also like 99.9 percentile size humans, and the police are not. Like, so there's a little bit, but yeah, the pepper spray, like, I don't know. I think because at that point, like there was like two people on the ground. I don't know. I don't think it needed to get to that, but yeah, I don't like, in terms of like, I do think there was like a role of the broadcast and how that like was perceived because of the way that like they talked about it. You don't want it to happen, but also don't have this game. Don't portray this game as life or death then.
It was just so over the top. Like they cut, Gus Johnson explained what happened. He's like, Michigan tried to plant the flag at the 50-yard line. And then he just went into this like long rant about, I don't remember the exact terminology, but I was just sitting here rolling my eyes, honestly. Like I just was like, yeah, this guy was talking about it like they're fucking like people were launching grenades at midfield. You know, it's not what was happening, Gus.
And then there was like, I don't know, 4 other flag plantings yesterday in rivalry games. And like there was a fight in everyone, or like a push or a shove, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like my thing with that is like before the game, if Michigan Ohio State would have like at midfield, started John, like the officials and everybody's pushing them back, they're using that as a promo to like build up the game. Like, so you can't have it both ways. Like once the game's over, you can't just be like, you know what, everybody like shake hands and hug each other. That's not going to happen.
I don't think I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think we're going to get another touchdown in the game. The reason I say that is Ray Davis slid there after he got the first down. Like he wanted to stay in bounds and run the clock. So
let him score. Let him go and run.
Everybody's cold. Everybody's cold.
Yeah, that's tough. I do want to ask one favor, and I do ask this whenever we have big hits on the stream. Listen, I'm pretty open when I lose. We always recap the losing days. If you do end up hitting something big tonight and you want to post a screenshot, I'm not forcing you to. But if you do, tag us on Twitter at @ForwardProgressHQ. We can at least retweet some of them. Helps us build a following. I kind of hate doing that stuff. Anyone who watched my circles off from last week or listened to it, I do find some of that stuff cringeworthy, but we're in the content space. I don't think it's doing any harm. So if you could help us grow our following, then that would be very much appreciated. You can tag myself. You can tag @ForwardProgressHQ. Whatever you want to do, all of it is helpful and helps us grow our following. So that would be appreciated. That would be appreciated. Man, though, if Ray Davis could just pop one off for 40 yards here. That'd be pretty incredible. That would be pretty incredible.
This is where the home clock operators like not starting the play clock until like 3-4 seconds after each tackle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like once you see a guy go down, it's like, all right, let's hurry this along here.
100%. These are the tough games to do. I mean, I can only imagine what my state of mind would be right now if I bet the 49ers in this game. Like, I would be watching the end of this. Fucking like, let's end the stream now. I mean, I'm gonna have to figure out something about this next year. We got to have like some artificial cutoff points, one way or another. So, thank you to Early Bird Capper, by the way, who already tweeted this. And TSA's Benny was appreciate that from you guys.
I think our also, we talked about awards last week. Just want to put up there. I saw Jamar Chase probably cooked after the Bengals lost today, but TJ Watt -190 to win Defensive Player of the Year. Like,
it's gonna happen, man. We just have to admit that it's gonna happen.
Oh, but gosh, that's. I know he's great, but I don't know. I mean, Pat Surtain's third.
I know,
So,
but like this, if the
market.
Steelers get to the playoffs, and they do have a tough schedule down the stretch, but if they get there, Watt's going to win it. We talked. Leonard Williams has hope, I think, but I just don't see it.
He came
honestly,
on too late,
like,
and
it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for anyone. That's not to say it can't happen. It's a week-to-week league, but I honestly think you need an injury to Watt at this point. I do.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Myles Garrett's 12. But the problem with Myles Garrett is the Browns are bad. So it's not getting it done.
Wow. Someone DM'd me a $5 parlay that paid $1,455 plus 29,000. 2-pick parlay. Isaac Guerrero, Ray Davis, anytime touchdown scores. Fuck. I love that. These are the things I love to see, people. These are the perfect types of games. Yep. To take advantage of this stuff. All right. I'll let you go, Austin. They're kneeling it out here. It's going to be 35-10 final. Appreciate you. AMOC419 on Twitter. Follow Austin. He's a good guy.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your parlay winnings.
All right. I'll try. Have a good one, Austin. Austin Mock, everyone. Someone asked, am I going to be on tomorrow night? Of course I'm going to be on tomorrow night. Oh, this is next week. Watch along the... We could maybe do something Simpsons related for next week. Anyways, that's a week away. We're going to figure something out for that. Tomorrow night's Denver, Cleveland. That's live in our downtown Toronto studio. I'll be there. I think I'm going to rock. I'm going to go back to the soups tomorrow. Think I'm feeling soups? That deal after 3:00 is too hard to pass up. Buy one soup, get the second one for $3. They should. I mean, it's basically like they're giving the soups away at those prices. Fantastic. I don't know what the daily special is tomorrow. I might do a bisque. I haven't had the Jamaican crab bisque in a while. That's a banger. I'm just going to feel it. I don't want to go in with a plan. I'm just going to feel it. I'm going to let the soups speak to me. There's like 20 of them there. They're in different pots. I'm going to let them speak to me. Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. Hopefully you won some dollars on the game. Appreciate everyone out there who tuned in. As a reminder, if you did win some dollars and something big, tag us on Twitter at Forward Progress HQ. Reminder, make sure you like the stream on the way out the door and actually drop a 1 in the chat on the way out the door if you enjoyed tonight's stream as well. I'll see everyone back here tomorrow, right here on Forward Progress, presented by Fanduel. For myself, Rob Pizzola, for Austin Mock, for Geoff Fienberg, Clive Bixby, and of course, my producer, Jizzy J, Jason Cooper. This has been another Sunday Night Football watch along presented by Fanduel. Peace out, everyone. Enjoy your night.